What am I hearing? Testing? Oh, it's the fan. Howdy, howdy. Oh, I hate that. Oh, I mean, it's fine. It's just kind of loud and annoying. But we're good. Hey, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day. Hope everybody's having a FLERF Monday. We have our first guest. Oh, well, let me finish setting things up and then I'll bring you up. Oh, never mind. They disconnected. Oh, we do have our first guest. Let me just finish setting up and then I'll bring up our first guest. Our first guest is Freelancer Joe, who tried to come up the other day, but kept struggling, and I don't know why. Freelancer Joe, how's it going?
Do you remember me?
Well, I remember that you tried to come up several times and then failed to do so every time.
Yeah, because something happened. I don't know why.
I don't know why either, but welcome.
Wait, this is about flat Earth? Oh
Yes,
shit! Wait, I'm not in the position, man.
Okay, all right, then get out of here.
First. Sorry.
It's fine. It's like people can't read. I mean, he could read. He was an example of somebody who could read, but I don't know why. I don't know what the struggle is there. Let's bring up FR. Is this free? Who knows? Could be. Who knows? FR, how's it going?
The Earth is flat.
Okay, can you give me just 1 second? I want to just finish adjusting some stuff. We did just start. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Should be all set to go. So FR, you think the Earth is flat? Why?
Yeah. Well, isn't the most powerful argument isn't about conspiracy. It's about direct, unmediated experience.
Mm-hmm.
So, have you ever heard of the Bedford level experiment?
I have, yeah.
It's one of the most replicated amateur experiments in history. It showed that objects are made visible over water at distances where a globe model predicts they should be hidden.
So are you aware of the experiments that have shown that those things are not visible?
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense. It's not true.
How do you know it's not true? Which reproductions do you believe? The ones that reproduced it or the ones that don't?
I believe the ones that reproduce it.
Well, so if you want to be scientific about it, because we're talking about reproducing experiments, it seems like if you have some kind of experimental setup that provides unreliable results, you should probably just go do a different kind of experiment rather than relying on something that's unreliable.
Okay, well, I've been to space. I've seen it.
You've been to space? Where is space if the Earth is flat?
Space is okay. I want to analyze your statement there. What is space?
I don't know. You tell me. You're the flat earther. Tell me what.
Define space for me.
Tell me what space is.
Now,
you said that you've been. You've said you've been there. So like, look.
I know. It's
so where have you? So where have you been?
What space is?
So where have you? Look, if you've been there, where have you been? What is that referring to when you say you've been to space?
Well, I've been to the vacuum that surrounds the flat Earth.
How'd you get there?
Well, actually, so we took a bus to the end of the Earth.
Right?
Yes, okay. Yes. And then we jumped to and I promise, just take my word for it, the Earth is flat.
Okay, FR. Thanks for being here. Obvious troll is obvious. But hope everybody's having a good Monday. Let's talk to okay. Okay, how's it going?
Hello.
Okay, how's it going?
I'm going good, man.
I'm glad to hear it. What shape do you think the Earth is?
Say again?
What shape do you think the Earth is?
I don't really have an answer.
Okay, why'd you join?
Because I wanted to know what you think.
I think that the Earth is a sphere.
Can you give like a simple reasoning as to why?
Yeah, sure. The way that we determine what things are true in a court of law is we provide evidence. So presumably, evidence should be enough to convince you. One of the best kinds of evidence would be things like photos or video. And we have photos and video of the shape of the Earth. Yeah, from very, very far away. And it's a globe. And this is before Photoshop existed. This is before AI existed. We have this from 1972. It's a very, very famous photo. I can pull it up for you if you want.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Okay. There's some dance music going on in the background, I guess. Hold on, I just want to find the original. Not the one on Wikipedia. Although I think the one on Wikipedia might be... Yeah, no, this is the one that I wanted. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, that's the one you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, why does it look like upside down?
Because the person who was taking it was flipped over.
Okay.
Because they were in space. And in space, there is no up or down.
I see.
So, this, I mean, like,
No,
this is the kind of thing that would work in
never
a
seen
court.
a picture like this one before.
Well, now you have.
Yeah, man.
Anything else you got for me?
No, bro.
All right.
Just curious.
Well, take care, bud.
Take care.
All right, let's talk to Vril Lord Kane.
What's up, Blitz?
Vril, how's it going?
We talked the other day, man.
We did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I talked about Australia and North America, how this sunlight can't reach both of them at the same time.
Yeah, sure.
Artemis 2 is fake as hell too, right?
I don't think it is. But
Why
I think
do you
you'd have a
not-
hard time defending that.
Can you tell me why the rockets always curve? They never go straight up.
Yeah, because curving so then you can enter orbit more efficiently is a way to save more fuel rather than going straight up and then stopping and then turning 90 degrees and then firing your rockets. Called a gravity turn.
Do you have evidence that would be the case?
Yeah, we can
Because-
run simulations that show exactly that is the most efficient trajectory.
Have you ever considered the alternative possibility that maybe they just can't go up to a certain point? Like the firmament.
So, look, I did answer your question. It sounds like you just don't like the answer.
Well, I'm trying to make sense of it. I'm trying to imagine it in my head, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah, in a rocket.
I can show you a video that would hopefully make more sense for you.
Okay.
That'd be helpful.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me pull something up really quick.
Do you not think it's odd how close NASA was to Disney?
NASA's headquarters is in Texas. Are you referring to something else?
I mean like Walt Disney.
So like a person was close to an organization? I don't understand what you're asking.
I mean like the point I'm trying to make is that
it's certainly not
NASA,
this.
the way that we see NASA,
Hold
there's
on.
sort of
I
like,
got something for you really quick. I was just pulling up the video.
Okay.
Presumably you want to watch it, right?
but wait. The reason why we see NASA the way we do, we see NASA as entertainers. We see NASA like Disney.
I'm
Like
sure
they're
you do.
entertaining.
I'm sure you do, but like that doesn't really. The way that you see things is not particularly instructive to me. No.
Okay.
So sorry. So this is from a game called Kerbal Space Program, but it just it's just essentially a smaller version of the Earth, and then it simulates gravity, and the point of the game is that you build a space program. It's very fun, but anyway, the physics in the game is very good. So here's what you're asking. Ignore this. You want it to go straight up, and then stop, and then go straight sideways. That's what you want it to do. What actually happens is, see how it's tilting continuously the whole time?
Yeah, wouldn't it be much more fuel efficient to just?
No, it's way less fuel efficient, because if you go straight up, and then stop and then go straight sideways, you have to spend all of the fuel getting up and then all of the fuel accelerating to get into orbit. Whereas if you just start bending over as you're going, the amount of fuel that's required is like 40% less, because you're basically using the fuel only ever going in the same direction that you're going in.
Okay. Oh, so let's just watch the animation again.
Yeah. So here's the instructions basically on how to pull this off in this game. So you just rotate a little bit, and then you just tilt slowly as you go. And we can speed this up, I think. See how it's already tilting, like already at like a 20 or 15 degree angle.
Yeah.
And this way, by the time you get to altitude, you're already going pretty fast sideways, rather than going straight up and then going sideways. It'd be like think of it this way. If you want to get somewhere, do you go, like if you want to get somewhere that's in front of you to your right, do you go straight and then turn right, or do you just take a diagonal path?
Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so that's why they turn over, because it's the most efficient way to get into orbit.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Is there any observation we can make that would only make sense on flat Earth, that would prove flat Earth for you? Can you think of any observation that we could? Of some, like, so. Yeah, I'm just trying to see how open-minded you are.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, like, if you had photos of like the entire disk of the flat Earth, that would be pretty compelling.
Okay. How high do you think you need to be to see that?
Several thousand miles at least.
Yeah, exactly. And we see the problem is,
how high do you think the firmament goes?
Probably beyond that.
So then you could go that high.
Well, do we have enough fuel and a single rocket to get up there? I don't think so.
Yeah, we do. The rocket equation is pretty straightforward. Also, also to be clear, you wouldn't need a rocket. If we're in a firmament and there's air everywhere, you could use a balloon. It's kind of like weird that
a high altitude weather balloon.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that that high altitude weather balloons can't really go higher than, I don't know, like 50 or 60 miles.
100,000 feet.
Yeah, sure. Let's say 100,000 feet. Why can't it go all the way up to the top of the firmament if it's just all filled with air?
I don't know, but the thing about that is, the higher the altitude weather balloons go, the flatter it gets.
No, that's not true.
No,
I can show you videos. I can show you videos of high altitude weather balloons showing the curvature of the Earth.
Have you seen the ones that like are definitively look like flat Earth proof?
I don't think so. If you want to, you can.
Yeah, I'll pull one up for you.
All right. You pull one up for me. I'll pull one up for you. Okay.
All right.
Where is my? Oh, there it is. All right. I want this one.
Will you put me up? Will you like?
I can't make you big. Okay. Because you're on 4 different platforms right now. But what I can do is, like, your image will be like the regular size image will be visible everywhere.
Let me see if I can get a better version of it. Okay, I think I got it.
All right, let's see it.
Wait, I don't think I could turn my camera on. I don't have live access on this account.
Oh. That's a bummer.
I can put in the wait. Hold on. I can copy and paste the Reddit link in the comments if you want to pull it up.
I mean, Reddit is like, it's not a reliable source, but it's a good repository of like pictures and stuff. Oh, he's a Nazi?
Okay, I found it. Here. Fuck, dude, character limit. Are you fucking kidding me? Give me a second. Maybe I can share it from the actual Reddit link.
Oh, I have the wrong thumbnail. Somebody said that lets you have the wrong thumbnail. What thumbnail?
Okay, just look up on Google because I can't paste it. It's too long. Look up someone captioned this photo with 120,000 feet, and now it's being used as evidence the world is flat. Let me know if you need me to repeat that.
Now it's being used as evidence that the world is flat.
Yeah, and it's from 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah, I found it. Okay, yeah, I found it. Oh, come on. Come on. So it's this one, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so what makes you think that this is from 120,000 feet?
Well, I mean, I've seen a video like this before, and it had an altitude reader, and it said like
because
100.
I mean, just here's the interesting thing. Look at the size of the clouds, right? In the top picture, and by the way, I don't even know if this is a real picture from NASA. They're just claiming it is. But in the top picture, the clouds are tiny, and you can see their shadows, which are also tiny. Here, the clouds are enormous. Honestly, this bottom photo just looks like the same thing that it would look like when you're looking out a window on a plane. And in fact, the comments on the Reddit thread say as much.
Yeah, Reddit is full of globetards, man. Like,
You can't say that.
Sorry.
But anyway, so I mean, sure, you showed me this photo. How about this photo? 1 second, let me pull it up.
Do you think the first picture, the one that is claimed to be NASA, has a fisheye lens?
I don't even know if it's a NASA photo, right? And I don't know what altitude the second one is taken from. So this is the first recorded photograph. What I'm showing you right now is the first ever photograph from the stratosphere. So this was the at the time, this was the highest humans had ever been. This photo's taken in 1935. So it's not fake. It's just an old photo, and then they wrote on top of it, like they wrote on top of it for the printing. So this was taken from around 72,000 feet, and what you can see is they drew a line across, connecting the two ends of the two sides of the horizon, and you can see that it curves up in the middle.
So, you think that's how curved the Earth actually is?
From 72,000 feet, that's plausible. Yeah, I mean, obviously it depends on the camera because it depends on your field of view. But yeah, this is a plausible amount of curvature from 72,000 feet. It's slight, but it's there.
I mean, it's from so long ago.
Okay, well, I can show you something more recent if you're interested.
It could just be an old camera.
I can show you something more interested if you want it. So here, let me grab this really quick.
Let me ask you another question. Have you seen those videos of when the rockets go up?
Yep. Here's a capture from one of these rockets that went up. Actually, no, this was a weather balloon, or not a weather. It was a high altitude balloon. It wasn't a weather balloon in that it wasn't actually used for studying the weather, but it was a high altitude balloon.
Okay.
It was made by an amateur.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, sure. So it was made by a guy named Mr. Sensible Historic. You can go watch. He has videos on it. And so this is just a summary of what's happening, and it has some good stills in it.
We can talk about this after. I just have a quick question.
No, we should talk about this now because you brought up a photo, and you didn't like the photo that I showed you because it was too old. So I'm showing you something from a few years ago.
How can we be sure this isn't lens distortion?
That's a great question, which is exactly why I brought up this image, which I was about to touch on. So what they did in this, for this this balloon is that see those two lines in the middle?
Yeah.
So those are just strings. They're just taut strings that are pulled across the front of the camera, right? Like in front of the camera. They're not like lying on it, but they're right in front of the camera. And so because they're taut, we know that they're straight, right? Like taut strings are straight. And so what we can verify then, because these strings are taut, is that if the strings are not distorted, then that means that the lens is not distorting the image, right? Because if there was a fisheye effect, then what we would see is that the strings would be curving, right? The top one would be curving up, the bottom one would be curving down. And so here's a still taken from this video with some stuff overlaid on it. You see the top string, you see the bottom string. They're both straight, eye levels in the middle, and you can still see the curvature of the Earth down below. So it can't be a fisheye lens effect, because if it were a fisheye lens effect, then these strings would be curved rather than straight.
When was this photo taken?
This was not a clip. That was a screenshot from a video that was done, or that was posted 5 years ago. And so like you can see, like here's some of the video.
I mean, it kind of looks like a refraction though. Do you see the blue light?
What?
Do you see the blue light from the there's like a cyan, and then the top it's black. The reflection, like the refracted part, the blue atmosphere.
Why is it
That-
curved?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It could just be refraction.
Refraction wouldn't make it appear curved left to right.
Well, I mean, like maybe it could cause like a bit
If
of a.
it was refraction, then you would expect to see the string to be curved too.
I'm talking about like reflection from the sunlight. You know what I mean?
Reflection. So why is it curved?
It could just be something to do with the lens, or it
By
could
the
be.
way, interestingly enough, so during the video, we have data. I don't know if you can see this. We have data on its altitude.
Wait, I have another idea. Maybe it's.
Hold on. So we have altitude data, we have temperature data, we have pressure data, we have a whole bunch of data that's useful, that's recorded during the launch. And so what you can do is you can actually take that data and you can punch it into an Earth curvature calculator. So this is the original image taken directly from this video, right? Not the exact same frame, but this is the original image. If you then take that altitude image, that altitude data, with the lens info that we're given, because he talks about what lens is being used on this camera, and then you plug it into an Earth curve calculator, this is the see that line across the bottom? That's what the calculator predicts the curvature of the Earth should be if the Earth were a globe, right? So why is it that it matches perfectly if it was just refraction?
I have an idea.
Sure.
I think that the parts where it's more elevated, where you think it's curvature, I think that's where the sea level is higher. And the areas on the left and right, the sea level is lower. And so the sun's refraction.
You think is sea level lower over here than it is over there?
I think like you see how the left and right, it's sort of like lower than the middle.
That's called curvature.
Well, I think actually what it is the sea level is lower in those areas, and so it's higher in the middle area.
Okay. Why is the sea level lower in the left than it is in the middle?
Because that's just, the Earth, flat Earth, it's not completely 100% flat, right? Obviously, there's elevation, changes in sea level.
I thought water was always level.
Well, it always finds its level.
Well, apparently not. Not if sea level is different height in different places.
No, because there's obviously mountains too, right?
Why would the mountains affect
for example, Mount Everest?
Why would the mountains affect sea level?
Well, I'll explain it this way. Mount Everest, for example, is obviously much higher sea level than the regular geography of the world, right? And so the sun's light, the refraction.
Mount Everest doesn't change sea level.
No, but like what the sun's light, the way the sun would hit on it, it would appear like for that blue part. When we're going back to that photo where it's black and then blue and then there's cyan, it would be more high up because Mount Everest is higher up.
You gotta be trolling, right?
Dude, I understand when we say flat Earth, you guys think we mean like a 100% flat Earth. No, it's got changes in elevation. It's got changes in sea level. So obviously,
wait a minute. So why is the sea level different in different places?
Because that's just the geography. That's how
does geography change sea level? The water would just level
out.
Well,
the plates are moving still. The plates are moving like.
So does water not always find its level?
It does, but
so then why isn't sea level all the same height?
Because there's stuff around it. There's mountains, ground, land, the water in the land. Right?
Hey, so here's a important point that we should probably talk about. So we were just looking at a still, right? But we can rewind and we can look at the video, and what you'll see once it levels out for a second.
Yeah, that's obviously lens distortion, man. It's appearing concave.
Where?
If you went back like 10 seconds, it literally looked concave for a second.
Hold on. So see how it's rotating? See how it's like spinning? Yes. So it's spinning, and yet it's staying curved the same amount the entire time. And so if it were the case that the reason it's curved is because of sea level, does that mean that the sea level bump is following the camera?
No, the camera is observing where the sea level bump is, and also if you went back 20 seconds, you would see the Earth appeared concave for a second. So it's obviously
let's go back 20 seconds.
Distortion.
If it was lens distortion, why aren't the strings being distorted? So tell me when to pause.
I think you got to go back a little bit more.
I did. I went back further than we started.
Like it appears concaved in some of these clips.
Where?
You gotta really slow down and look at it. You gotta see it. Like you gotta be paying attention.
I'm going frame by frame. Where is it concave?
Well, you gotta unpause the video.
It's not paused. I'm changing frame by frame. Where is it concave?
Okay, try now. Unpause.
Wait, why would you want me to unpause if you want to say that it looks concave at a certain frame? Then you can't see the individual frame.
I think you'll see it if you unpause it and then pause it when the right time comes.
Wait, so you don't want me to go frame by
No,
frame?
I do want you to see it. Like,
do you want me to go frame by frame or not?
I want you to unpause it, but you got to be paying attention. Like you got to be,
okay,
on top.
Then let's go frame by frame and let's look for where it's concave. Stop me when it looks concave.
Also, if you were looking at the wide cam, it's much less distorted at the top.
The wide cam is far more distorted.
No, wait,
actually.
look at the wide cam. The sun looks small and local. If you actually look at it, it's on the top camera.
Yeah,
it looks small and
I know
local.
what the wide cam is. The wide cam is a wide camera, so it's going to make everything appear smaller.
No, but doesn't it look small and local and above the earth?
No, it just looks far and big.
On your model, the sun should be much farther than that. Much farther.
Great question. How can we tell how far away the sun is from this photo or from this screen cap, this still frame?
I don't think you can. You gotta know.
So then, using my model, you can't tell how far away that is. I'm glad we agree. Also, I'm still waiting for the concave distortion.
All right, it's because you gotta unpause it.
I'm not going to unpause it. Why would unpausing it help me see an individual frame?
Because it's easier to see when it's
How is it easier to see when it's moving? We're going frame by frame. Where is the concavity? I think you're just lying at this point.
I think that you're purposely, intentionally doing it frame by frame because it's going to take much longer.
Frame by frame is how you analyze. Like if there's a particular part of the and like you can just tell me to pause it and then we'll go to the place where you or unpause it. We'll just go to the place where you think it is. So
it literally appeared concave for a split second.
Okay, then let's go back and see if we can find that. Okay, so this is about where it started.
Yeah.
Okay. So then where's the concavity? Tell me.
I'm positive.
Okay. Is this a troll? This has got to be a troll, right?
No, I'm positive. I saw it in a split second when you unpaused it that first time.
Okay, so we're going to go back and we're going to play it in slow-mo, okay? And then we can find the exact frame where you think it's concave. Got it?
Also, if you look at the wide cam,
it is
the
now,
wide cam. Look at the wide cam.
Look
how much curved it. Look how curved it is.
So a wide cam is a fisheye lens. That's why we're not looking at the wide cam.
Okay.
The main camera here, this is not a fisheye lens. This is a rectilinear lens. So tell me, where is it concave?
I'm paying attention. I'm looking.
All right. Tell me where the concavity is. Where's the concavity?
Chat should pay attention too.
Where's
right there.
Right here.
You see, the top ends are higher than the middle.
That's because it's tilted.
Okay, but you agree
it's not concave. It's just tilted.
No, but why does it look like the top ends are higher than the middle?
Do you mean this part, like over here?
I mean, right? left and right. It looks like they're being tugged a little bit higher than the middle.
It's tilted.
Okay, but wouldn't you agree that it looks concaved to an extent?
It actually looks curved downward.
Okay, well maybe it's more. I think it's more exaggerated in these other newer clips.
What do you mean newer clips? This is all the
like
same video.
If you were to resume, like you would see it more.
What are we looking for?
I mean, but that's clearly refraction.
Can you tell me what refraction is?
It's where the sun like interacts with the atmosphere and like the clouds and.
No, I want you to define refraction for me, please.
The bending of light.
In
a environment.
So it's just anytime light bends?
Pretty sure, yeah.
So do you know what altitude we're at right now in this video?
Nah.
So this video, the part that you're looking at right now, is 35,000 meters up. Now, 35,000 meters up is like 120,000 feet or something like that. So how much air do you think is up there to cause refraction?
Well, I mean, the balloon's not floating away, and it would be if it was in space on your model. So,
Well, how much air do you think there is?
probably
Because you
at
understand
least,
that the less air there is, the less refraction there is, right?
probably at least like 10% air.
So the atmosphere is 0.005%, as thick as it is at sea level.
Okay. What's your point?
There's very little refraction, if any, because the atmosphere is so thin.
Okay, but
Hey, why do you follow Nazis?
name one that I follow.
NSWP Kristallnacht. American
Yeah.
Reich 88. Why do you follow Nazis?
NSWP stands for the National, I think it's Service Weather Program or National Space Weather Program.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're telling me that if I go to their page, it will just be weather stuff?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, their name was National Space Weather Program.
Why do they have Kristallnacht and then an SS symbol after their name?
What SS symbol?
The double lightning bolt? Why do you
Um,
follow somebody named Goy Him with a like a Star of David with a cross or with a slash through it?
Honestly, I don't remember following those people. If I did,
I'm sure. Why do you have SS symbols in your name? Why
What
do
do
you
you
have the double lightning bolt?
I don't think I do.
Yeah, you do. I can see it. It's right there. Everybody can see it.
I can see one lightning bolt.
I'm looking at your name right now on my phone.
Yeah, I'm looking at it too, and there's
Right
it
here.
says
2 lightning bolts.
okay, right there. There are 2 lightning bolts.
Yep, that's your name. So you like Nazis, huh?
I mean, I like freedom of speech.
Funny, you're
I
not
like-
following any leftists. Seems
Well,
like you're following.
I do listen to the leftists. I listen to Vosh. I listen to
like Nazis.
Vosh. I listen to Hassan. I listen to Destiny. I like all opinions.
By the way, he just hid his followers. Or I'm sorry. He just hit the. No, actually, never mind. I was just clicking on the wrong thing. I can't see all of your followers, but some of your followers are, have a little bit sus names too. NSWP Lightning Bolt Polo.
National Space Weather Program. Yeah.
Do you believe in space?
I don't, man.
So then why are you
the
following
way-
the National Space Weather Program, huh?
I think they might be flat earthers.
Oh, okay. So NSWP stands for National Socialism White Power, turns out. So
Okay,
why are you following Nazis?
but all I know is that one of the accounts it said NSWP, but then the full name was National Space Weather Program.
You
So
follow
that's
American Reich 88. You follow NSWP Tradlife 88. You follow NSWP Paladin with the SS symbol. You follow NSWP Kristallnacht. You follow a lot of Nazis there. Lots
Like
of
I
people
said,
with NSWP
like I
in their
said,
name.
Like I said, I like freedom of speech. I believe in freedom of speech.
NSWP Steven Goyhim, NSWP Simple Jack, NSWP Polo or Poyo, Joker Waffen Fren 1488. You're pretty shy about being a Nazi, aren't you?
All I said is that I like freedom of speech. I like open-minded. I like opinions. I don't like censorship. And I listen to all.
Wait, so hold on. You can be in favor of free speech and also not follow Nazis. Did you know that?
Of course.
So then why
But
are you following Nazis? Why are
I
so many of your
follow
followers Nazis?
I follow everyone.
No,
I
you
listen
don't.
to
You
the
follow
left.
you follow exactly 137 people. NSWP Jew Killer. Why are you following that person? Why are you following a person whose name is Jew Killer?
I think, bro, he must have changed his name because I don't.
Sure.
I wouldn't follow
Hey,
anyone
so
with that name.
do you know how Hitler's life ended?
Yeah, of course I do.
How do you feel about it?
He got to live out the rest of his days in Argentina. I mean, good for him.
Okay. Well, would you like to live out the rest of your days in Argentina?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds.
So
fun.
you're telling me that you should go follow in your leader's footsteps?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, go ahead.
No.
Hey, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I didn't say anything. Mods, you guys know what to do. Make sure to ban him. All right, let's read some super chats. From Tyler with the $2, I see Earth curve often, 40,000 feet and above. Where are you flying that you're 40,000 feet and above? Like, that doesn't seem common. By the way, I didn't actually, so his actual profile, except for the lightning bolts, which, you know, could just be edgy, his actual profile seems fine. I hadn't looked into his following list, and his following list is really sus, and that's why I started calling him out for it. Also, I don't know who this, like, I don't know who the profile picture is of, so who is that? All right, from Empiricist with the $2, mountains do change sea level from gravity. They do, slightly, but they think that gravity's fake. From Vintage Gaming with the $2, ask for empirical evidence for his claims. Yeah, I mean, of course he never will. It's a mugshot. Looks maxing idiot. It's hello. Do some Googling. Not that it's relevant, he's already banned, but oh yeah, okay, yeah, I see that. Yep, that's a guy that should have been a tip-off, but I don't pay attention to streamers like that. So from Orion Cooper with the $2, Vril is Nazi free energy conspiracy theory as well. Yeah, that's not surprising. Not surprising. From Will Day with the $2, just told him to follow orders. What his leader did, go to Argentina. And from Nectu with the $2, Discord notifications still not working. Weird. And we just got a $10 cash out from Grimlock, or just got back to the desert. Hydration, please. All right, fair enough. Thank you so much, Grimlock. And from Bake Blackbean with the 5,000. I don't actually know what that currency is. I'm gonna learn. Oh, are those South Korean ones? That might be South Korean won. Which is $3.40. Hello, I love your vid from South Korea. Oh, that would have been obvious. I should have just read it. Earth's literally called Landsphere in Korean. It literally has sphere in its name. Fair enough. I like that. I like that. We call it Landsphere in Korean. Good to know. All right, let's bring up our next guest. We have a guest named YB.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, YB. How's it going?
Good. I got this headset recently, and it was very cheap, so if it starts to crap out, please let me know.
You're good. So, YB, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Thankfully, as of recently, I've been starting to believe it's round again. I'm kind of on your side, and if you're not looking for this kind of guest, I'll be brief, and
go ahead.
But I can come back another day when you're doing like a Q&A or something.
I mean, if you're gonna be brief, it's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, honestly, I just kind of was looking for advice. I spoke to Bible Guy and I think Justin about this. But one of the main things that, kind of held many of my old beliefs together was flat Earth, because that was something I was convinced of before when I used to be Christian and when I used to be very right wing and conspiratorial and stuff. That's kind of what held it together. Like flat Earth and kind of Epstein-like conspiracies, and with all the stuff coming to light of the Epstein stuff, kind of I don't want to say gives me doubtful thoughts, but kind of re-triggered those old feelings and those old beliefs I used to have. Because seeing some conspiracies being true, intrusive thoughts are like, oh, what if those other old thoughts are true as well?
Wait, sorry, what are you telling me?
That like stuff like flat Earth and Epstein and these kind of conspiracies are what originally made me believe in other bad stuff like Abrahamic religions and right wing kind of things. And as I got away from that kind of stuff, from realizing like flat Earth wasn't true, now that this Epstein stuff is coming out and is true, it's kind of like re-triggered some intrusive thoughts that like, oh, maybe some of that other stuff is true as well. And like I worked really hard to like deconstruct all that those other things, and it was just kind of been on my mind recently. Just kind of looking for some things to ways to help with reminding myself that this whole
all I would say is that we don't need to make up stuff in order for there to be like real bad people in the world, right? Like we don't need to make up a flat Earth conspiracy in order to acknowledge and realize that there are people in this world who are disgusting and abuse children, right? Like those two things don't have to be related. Not everything that happens in the world that's bad is related to every other bad thing in the world.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Like, sure, yeah, the Epstein stuff, atrociously bad, right? I don't have no reason to think that this has anything to do with the giants that built the pyramids, or the Earth being flat, or the Jews controlling the world. These are seemingly completely unrelated things. I don't know why we would relate them, right? Like some people are shitty. Okay, I agree. Lots of shitty people in this world. Has nothing to do with the shape of the Earth. Has nothing to do with, a flood. Has nothing to do with, a talking snake. It just seems like it's not really related.
No, you're definitely right. And I tend to have those thoughts after I have the other ones, but it's honestly just kind of nice hearing it from somebody else, especially somebody who's kind of pulled me away from that kind of way of thinking. Honestly, I was listening for a while playing Elden Ring. I didn't expect to come on, and I formed my question horribly at the beginning. I apologize. I came across Professor Dave Explains content and him breaking down some of the main people I used to listen to, like Eric Dubay and some of those other crazy people.
Sure.
Was honestly really helpful. Do you know somebody else who not just creates debunking content like that, but kind of addresses people who are main proponents in those kind of echo chambers?
Well, I mean, so aside from myself on TikTok,
yes, I've watched a ton of stuff.
But aside from that, on YouTube, Professor Dave Explains does it a lot. He's pretty popular on YouTube. There's also, I think it's called Fix the Flat Earth, is like not somebody that I watch on the regular, but I've heard good things about. Also, MC Toon does flat Earth stuff. But it's not often that you will have people cover a whole bunch of different topics. You'll have like a group of people who it's Fight the Flat Earth. I'm sorry, not Fix the Flat Earth. FTFE. It's always FTFE. I never think about what it stands for.
I'll check those two.
But you'll have people that are like their specialty is like they go against flat Earth, and then you'll have people who are like their specialty is they deconstruct religion, and then you'll have some people whose specialty is they deconstruct young Earth creationism, and so you'll have a lot of people like there's a lot of groups, like distinct groups often that kind of touch on different things. So you'd have to go looking for those. But if you're looking for something specific in any one of those, you can definitely, feel free to DM me or message me on Discord, and I can see if I can find some resources for you.
I literally just joined your Discord as I was starting to come up here.
Well, good.
So yeah, I'll definitely get around to that. I'll check out those two channels.
Okay, sounds good.
I appreciate it. I'll come out some other time.
All right, take care.
Have a good one.
Okay, so it seems like the chat that I'm seeing is very, very delayed. I don't know if his audio was a problem. His audio looked plenty loud on my end. Maybe it just sounded bad, but it on my end it wasn't peaking and it wasn't below the audible threshold. So I don't know who it was bad for. If it was bad for TikTok, if it was too quiet. I really don't know. Let's read a super chat from Chatter Cheese with the $20. Step 1, repackage scientific knowledge as forbidden conspiracy theories. Step 2, watch as hordes of people flock to mundane scientific facts because they suddenly they feel super special for knowing them. Step 3, humanity saved. Yeah, that's the rough part, right? Like there's no connection to actually making the world a better place by spreading conspiracy theories, right? That's the issue. And so it ultimately comes down to wanting to be a truth seeker, right? And that's just not something that everybody can be without the requisite training, right? Like being a truth seeker, like being a historian or being a philosopher, being a scientist, or being an archaeologist are kind of scientists, but like figuring out stuff about the world, whether it's about humanity, whether it's about the way the world is metaphysically, whether it's about the way the world is physically or biologically, or the way the past was, or the way the future will be. These are all things that take a lot of training and a lot of knowledge. And if you're not equipped or not interested in putting in the work to become equipped to do those things, to be a truth seeker, a genuine truth seeker, sorry, it's not for you. You get to believe what the people who know what they're talking about tell you. That's the smart thing to do, right? If an archaeologist tells me that, there was a small city-state that existed in northwest Pakistan 9,000 years ago, the smart thing to do is to believe them, right? Because they know better than I do. Because it's their area of expertise. So, yeah, I don't know. I have strong feelings. I think that one of the most effective things humanity has ever done was figure out how to specialize. And now everybody thinks that we shouldn't specialize and that we shouldn't trust and we shouldn't, like, it's bad epistemology somehow now to trust the specialists. Like, trusting the specialists is exactly how we succeeded and produced modern civilization, right? That's, like, it's crazy. Crazy to think that that those are the people that we should now be distrustful of. Anyway. All right, let's talk to Joseph. Joseph, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? Oh, jinx.
Oh, you got me. All right, Joseph, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Sorry?
What shape do you think the Earth is?
Oh, flat.
Okay, why do you think it's flat?
Well, number one, well, there's many reasons why. Let's just go through them. I've got 10 reasons why.
10 reasons, okay.
Okay, do you mind if I get my notes? I've written them down.
Sure.
Okay, 1 second. Let me just...
Oh my god.
My notes!
That was really loud.
Just get my notes. Okay, got it. I didn't think I was going to come up. You always have loads of people requesting.
It seems like the flat earthers have not been brave enough to join lately, so you're the unique flat earther. By the way, do you keep your notes in like a bag of chips? Because it sounded like you were opening up a bag of chips.
No, I was eating some sweets and then I put it down.
Fair. All right, let's hear it. So, by the way, just to be clear, are you going to be okay if we go through them one by one? Because otherwise you're going to say 10 things, and then it'll be hard to address all of them.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, yeah, let's start with the first one.
Whatever you want to do, I'm happy. Page 52, 51, 52. All right, here we go. So why I think the Earth is flat. Okay, cool. So first reason, there is no evidence of it being round. Let's start with that.
Okay, what counts as evidence in your view?
Right, so if we have, we have NASA, we have, 4K cameras, we have all this technology, is what I'm trying to say is, how comes why don't they just broadcast, the Earth instead of just taking AI photos?
They do. So like non-AI photos would count as evidence?
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. I got just the thing for you.
If you can show me a real picture of the Earth,
I got just the thing for you.
We might not even go to the 10th point. We might as well end it here.
We might not need to, right? All right, 1 sec.
Oh, sorry. Talk to my sweet there. Excuse me.
How about this? This is from 1972. Okay. It's from before AI existed. It's before Photoshop existed.
Wait, where did you take where did you take this photo from?
This is from, well, this is the original uncropped, uncorrected Apollo 17 image called the Blue Marble. I found a link to it on Wikipedia, but you can find it anywhere.
Wikipedia?
Yeah. I can
Are you kidding me?
Here's the original source, by the way. This is on lpi.usra.edu.
Okay. Does it say how many millions of miles that photo was taken?
I think this one was taken from 16,500 miles away, if I remember correctly, but I can go look up the exact number if you want.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you.
This is the high resolution version, by the way. This is where this photo came from.
You know when you look up in the sky and you see the moon, right? You see how it's very tiny.
Yep.
Wouldn't the Earth be a lot bigger than that if that was taken from the moon?
This wasn't taken from the moon. This is taken from closer. Oh. This is taken on the way to the moon. I think it was 16,500 miles away. But I can go get the numbers for you. It was either like 16,500 or like 30,000 or something like that. But there's nothing else in the frame, so I don't know how you're saying that it should be bigger or smaller. There's nothing really to compare it to.
Okay. Okay.
It could have just been zoomed in. It could have been zoomed out. Like.
Yeah. What country is that from the picture?
That's not a country. That's Africa.
Africa?
Uh-huh.
Wait.
It's upside down.
Oh, it's
relative.
Okay,
yeah, there's Saudi Arabia. There's Madagascar.
Why is it upside down?
Because they were rotated relative to the Earth. There is no up and down in space, right?
There's no what, sorry?
There is no upside down in space, right? So like there's no up for the correct direction.
Okay, so if you're saying that's a real photo, why? And obviously NASA.
Okay, hold on. You're making so much noise, and this has got to be on purpose.
Oh no, I'm just. Actually, I can stop what I'm doing if you want me to do that.
Okay, yeah, because it's very loud.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So why, if they can take these real photos, why do they bother doing the CGI photos?
Like what?
What do you mean, like what? Like the CGI photos that they post?
Well, so sometimes they will post like images that are like stitched together from other images that they take. Like if you're really close to the Earth, right? If you're orbiting only 400 miles away, you're not going to be able to get the full thing in one frame. So instead, what you can do is you can orbit and take a whole bunch of photos and then stitch them together, right? That's not CGI. That's just how you stitch together a whole bunch of photos. CGI means computer generated, right? You're not generating you're not generating an image if you're just stitching together real photographs, right? You're not generating something, you're just stitching them. You're like putting the pieces next to each other.
Yeah.
So there's but like that doesn't make it CGI, nor does it make it fake. But anyway, even if it were the case that NASA was posting CGI fake photos, you asked for one that's not, and here's one that's not.
Okay, how do you know that Earth is a sphere then, if that's just one circle?
Well, it's definitely not flat.
Yeah, but how do you know?
Well, because Africa's curving off to the side. Unless you think Africa is at the edge of the disk Earth. Yeah,
but can you say 100% that's a sphere, or that could, okay, fair enough.
In fact, you can see the difference in shading on the side, right?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. That's a troll. It's a troll. Pretty sure it was a troll. I guess the flat earthers aren't sending their best anymore. Flat earthers are arguably sending their worst. Sorry, that shouldn't be that one. Minimize that. Somebody said that the Discord notifications aren't working. They should be. I can see your messages. Hold on, just one sec. We're working out a Discord problem. Like I can see. I can see Lilith typing. Oh, the bot didn't announce. I see. Okay, I see. So we have $2 from Joshua Brown with the message flat Earth 1 + 1 = 2, but I don't believe in facts. That is something like it. Oh, I didn't get the Discord notification about the live. Okay, yeah. Well, I'm glad that that's hopefully working now. It just took some time, but we're good. All right, let's talk to Gerald. Gerald. Gerald, how's it going? Crazy. From the V Dude with the $5. Have you seen the satellites in orbit from Artemis time-lapse someone made? Hank Green recently posted a video with it. Very neat. The satellites in orbit from Artemis. I don't think I know what you're talking about. I'll have to go take a look. All right, let's bring up Prokopton Stoa. Prokopton, how's it going? Prokopton, are you there?
What's up?
Can you hear me all right? I can hear you making noise.
Really?
Yep.
I'm just hanging out.
All right, so Prokopton, what shape do you think the Earth is?
You hearing something weird?
Nope, you're good. What shape do you think the Earth is?
I mean, it's a globe, obviously.
Okay.
Like,
Why'd you join?
sure. Why? You thinking otherwise?
Okay, so you have trouble reading, which is fine. Oh, that is miles. You're right. That is totally miles. That's so weird. Oh, that's funny, though. From Orion Cooper with the $5, the word in TikTok debunkers is Papa FLERFS are telling their followers to stop going on lives because of being exposed to demons like you. That's interesting. Let's talk to Dawa Abdul.
What's the deal, cousin?
Dawa, how's it going?
It's going good, cousin.
So, what shape do you think the Earth is, Dawa?
I'm not sure. I don't think it's a globe, though.
Okay, why not?
Well, I don't think it's a globe
Yeah.
because of space, twin.
What about it?
We can't be on a globe in space.
Why not?
Why we can't?
Yeah, why not?
Because space is a vacuum. All right. So if we have a globe in space, that vacuum is not gonna work.
Why not?
We would die.
Not if we have an atmosphere around us.
Oh, you and your bullshit again, dude.
Yep.
Like, it's this simple, bro. Why isn't the Earth flat?
Because we have pictures of a globe Earth.
Oh my God. Why should I hold that to any form of credibility?
Because we have the chain of custody for those photos.
You have the chain of custody for the photos. Why should I hold that to be credible?
That's what we use in court.
So you're comparing a court case to photos of space?
Well, yeah, if we want to talk about a photo being credible, we would look at its chain of custody in court.
Yeah, the government. Wait, hold on.
That's
Yeah,
how
the
we would
government
come to the
lies.
credibility.
Yeah, the government lies. Why can't it be the case that the government just put it out?
How do you know the government lies?
How do I know? They lie all the time. I can give you many examples.
Yeah, give me an example.
Yeah, we have the experiment when you have MK Ultra. You have
How do you know MK Ultra happened?
because they admitted it.
Oh, okay, but the government lies, so how do you know that them admitting it is true?
How do I know that? Because other victims have came out.
Oh, okay, but how do you know that they're not lying?
Because it's multiple.
What gives it credibility?
Because it's multiple and their stories line up.
Oh, okay, so when multiple astronauts have their stories line up, that's not credible?
Bro, there's no astronaut that went to space. That shit is fake.
Ah, okay, but all the multiple witnesses and the victims who came out for MK Ultra, that's real.
Yeah, we know it's real because that lady,
We know it's real because that lady. Yep, that's a strong argument.
No, we know it's real because that lady told the doctor about what they did to her.
Because that lady told the doctor what they did to her. Got it.
Yeah, that's how they got exposed, because the lady had headaches and stuff when they were brainwashing.
that lady, definitely a reputable source.
This is all confirmed.
This is all, yeah, it's definitely all confirmed by the government, and the government lies. Why should I believe any of this?
Well, the government admitted they did the project and they got caught for it.
Yeah, but the government lies.
Yeah, but the FBI also ran an investigation.
The FBI is the government.
That's a separate branch of the government.
Yeah, and the government lies.
CIA and FBI is two different branches.
You're right, and they both lie. So why should we believe them?
The FBI does lie sometimes.
Yeah, so then why should we believe the FBI investigating?
Why should we believe the FBI's investigation?
Yeah. If the government lies, why should we believe them?
They give us reasons.
They gave us reasons? Oh, okay, so if I give you reasons about why we should believe the NASA photo from 1972, that would count and make it credible?
Rational reasons, of course, yeah.
Yeah, how do you determine which reasons are rational?
We have to examine it.
Okay, yeah. So if we have the chain of custody and we have sworn testimony from people that went to space, and we have the testimony of the person who took the photograph, we know exactly what camera was taken on it, lines up exactly with what time it was, and everything checks out. Why would we not believe that this is evidence?
Two big things. You're already assuming that the chain of custody is something that can't be unbroken. The government could break it if they want to.
Do you know what a chain of custody is?
Yeah. Basically, you get evidence, and then basically it goes to approval, and then it gets passed down, and then you use it in court.
So chain of custody is just essentially a list of who controlled the piece of evidence at what times.
Exactly what I said.
Right?
That's what I said. You have one person, then it goes to approval, and then it gets passed down.
What do you mean approval?
Approval to be used in court.
Oh, sure, that's what you mean. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah. Once you're asking about like where the evidence came, once you're asking the judge if something can be used as evidence, sure, you need approval that something can be used as evidence. But I'm talking about the actual chain of custody. The chain of custody is just the list of times and places of where that piece of evidence was, so that you know it didn't fall into any hands that were untrustworthy. Fortunately, we don't actually have to rely on the government if you don't believe that. We can rely on individuals who have seen the curvature of the Earth from the limits of space.
Why should we believe them? You're just selling me like this bullshit.
We have video from these rocket launches, private individual rocket launches.
I have a video of my pug playing basketball. Does that make it real?
Do you? I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Can you show me?
Yeah, it's AI generated though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so if I showed you a video from before we had AI generated video accessible to the public, would you believe me?
Bro, we already had AI.
When?
We've been having AI.
Since do you remember the first like mainstream AI generated video of like, who was it?
That got released to the public?
It was, we're talking about publicly available, because the person who published these videos are publicly available people. These are private individuals.
AI
has always existed?
No, since the 1900s.
That's a huge claim, but I'm not going to let you derail. So I'm talking about the Minos experiment. Sorry, not Minos. Talking about the hold on.
Are you talking about the neutrino experiment?
Nope, I'm talking about something else. I am talking about the Mesos amateur rocket launch. There's also the Go Fast amateur rocket launch as well.
Okay, what does this prove?
These are both amateur rocket launches that take a rocket to the edge of space, and then you can see the curvature.
Bro, no rocket has went to edge of space. That's bullshit. We haven't seen any confirmed thing.
So that's crazy you say that, because I'd love to show you something.
You're gonna show me something fake, I already know.
Yep, it's definitely gonna be fake. That's definitely good epistemology. Just assume that it's fake before you have even seen it. That's a good way to be rational and honest, right? Here.
Yeah, you should assume everything. Say the government's fake until they
This isn't from the government. This is from a guy named Kip Doggerdas. He's a private individual.
Private individual paid by the CIA.
Prove it.
Bro, just give me the experiment, bro.
We're watching it. We're watching it together.
Oh.
This is a camera mounted to the side of an amateur rocket.
Bro, you see how fake that should look?
Oh, okay, prove it's fake.
I said it looks fake.
Prove it.
I never said it is.
Okay, so then you know, in the absence of evidence, we should just assume it's real, especially because we have good reason to think it's real. There's
Why should you assume it's real?
because we have video of it, and this video was produced before we had access to even decent AI video generation.
You don't think millionaires had access to AI, dummy?
No,
Every piece of technology the government releases, they had it for more than 20 years.
this isn't a government guy. This is just some random dude on the internet.
I'm saying AI has been. We had AI for
That's
years.
cool. Yeah, it was Will Smith. Yeah, do you remember Will Smith trying to eat spaghetti?
That was the first time it was published to us. Yes.
Yeah. And so this was before that.
Bro, before it was available to the public.
Yeah, this guy's part of the public.
Okay, do you consider billionaires a part of the public?
This guy's not a
actually-
billionaire. He's just a normal guy. He has 28,000 subscribers on YouTube.
He has millions in his account.
Prove it.
Search up his name and
Okay.
his net worth.
All right, I'll do that while you watch this video.
And you want me to believe he sent a rocket to fucking space? Like what?
Sorry, I have to sneeze.
You can't send a rocket to space if you're not.
So he's not a corporate executive nor a public figure with publicly recorded earnings or assets. So no, his net worth is probably so low it doesn't even register on any of these net worth calculators because he's not a big YouTube creator. He's just like a regular guy.
Wait, so you want me to expect that someone with less than $1 million send a rocket to space?
Yeah, it's actually not that hard. You can build amateur rockets fairly easily.
No, you can't.
So then you just don't understand how rockets work, I guess.
You need
Like
thousands.
you could build a rocket if you wanted to.
Yeah, it wouldn't leave Earth.
If you did it well,
Everything
it would.
stays contained in Earth. I have evidence.
If you did it well, it would. Also, to be clear, this is just going to the edge of space and then it's coming back down. It's not orbiting.
Bro, it's just simple. Look, the Bible says the Earth isn't a globe. It gives a different shape. So what's the contention?
Oh, the contention is that we can see the Earth being a sphere here.
We can see the Earth being a sphere.
Yep. In this video that we're watching right now.
Let's say I granted you this. Is your perception perfect?
No, that's why we rely on mathematical and instrumental analyses, which we can
okay.
do with these videos.
And you use that. You use that when you use your perception, correct? Do you not have to perceive it to use mathematical calculations?
No.
Oh, you don't have to perceive it to use math. So how can?
No, you can be blind and also do mathematics.
Bro, you know perception is also the senses, dumbass.
You don't need any senses to do mathematics. You sound dumb, bro.
You don't need the senses. Wait, so you don't need any type of senses to do mathematics?
Nope.
No, you don't.
Nope. You just need to be able to
So
understand.
a blind person who was just born with no senses could do mathematics?
In principle, yeah.
Oh, they can?
Yeah. In principle,
What's the process behind it?
mathematics is just a thing that happens in the human mind, right? We often write it down because it's easy to keep track of that way, but mathematics is a thing that happens in the mind. So, like, it seems like you're just struggling now against the evidence, and now you're just crashing out because you think that you can just go, oh well, this is all just based on your senses, and your senses aren't reliable because if they're reliable, then it completely debunks my worldview about the shape of the Earth because it comes from the Bible and the Bible's wrong.
Wait,
like,
okay.
It just seems like we're just crashing out here.
Okay, why can I make this argument saying that God made the world seem the way, but it's not actually that way?
Oh, so your God is a deceptive deity?
How is that deception?
Well, making something seem a way that it's not is called deception, yeah.
Wait, so let's say I paint some grass blue, and then I paint it back green, so there's blue under. You're saying I deceived you because I didn't know I painted it blue under, and I let you say it's green?
If you painted it green, then you're not intending it to appear otherwise. You're not intending it to appear a way that it's not.
Wait, is that deception though?
Well, grass is green, and when you painted it green, you are now intending it to be seen as the way that it actually is.
Okay.
So no, it's not deception.
Wait, and your deception is making something appear as it's not?
Yeah, with the goal to mislead people.
I don't think that's deception.
Okay, well then I guess you and I just don't speak the same English language. What part of the world are you from, buddy?
I'm from America, man.
Okay, you're from. So I mean, you and I, we should speak the same language, and yet somehow we're talking past each other. Like you don't know what evidence is, you don't know what deception is, you don't know what fake is, you don't know what the government is.
Don't you speak Hebrew?
So it's just a little bit confusing. Like I thought that you and I would share a language, right? But apparently we don't.
Blitz, you're such a low tier, bro.
I'm a low tier, and you're a flat earther. Yeah, okay, we can just call each other names, I guess. At least what I'm saying is true. You've just come back repeatedly to get you just keep coming back repeatedly to get spanked, and I guess like look, I'm not here to kink shame, okay? Like, if you like getting spanked on flat Earth, on the topic of God, on the topic of the age of the Earth, that's on you, man.
I love
But
Blitz.
just don't use me for your kink. I do not consent, okay?
Just define truth for me.
Oh, okay, so we're going to completely pivot. Got it.
No, define truth for me, and I'll concede everything you're saying.
Yeah, so truth is the Earth is a sphere. That's my definition. That's what I'm using for the definition of truth.
Hopefully you study up and get better, bro.
Yeah, I should study up. You should take a look
I got a dip, though,
into
bro.
like a simple class on epistemology. That would probably help your worldview a lot. But of course you won't, because that would destroy your worldview.
Yeah, I got dip though, bro. I got dice to shoot.
I know you have it.
I got money to make. I'm gonna catch you though, bro.
I'm sure you're gonna go make some money.
Yep.
Go make some money, Doa.
Yup, I got you, Clan.
Bye. By the way, guy is about to go make money while he's walking on the side of the highway. Guy is not making any money. And look, I'm not going to shame you if you're walking on the side of the highway to get to or from wherever you need to go to. But don't come over here and pretend that you're holier than thou, that you're richer than thou, because you're going to go make some money. You know, you know what truth is, and yet you're walking on the side of that highway, my guy. Like, don't do that. It's just not a good look. All right, let's read some super chats, and then we will bring up our next guest. From Morgumi with the $2. Okay. From Schmucked with the I can't read. Schmucked with the £5. You said that the globe is not CGI, yet the famous blue marble has clouds duplicated in different regions. You would not get that with stitching. So, to be clear, the famous blue marble is from 1972, not the one from 2004 or whatever. The one from 2004 was the one from 2004 definitely did add in clouds, but those clouds are not CGI. They are actual pictures of clouds that they copied and pasted and moved around, right? Like, that happens sometimes. If you're trying to make an art piece, which is what they were trying to do. The 1972 blue marble, that was a photograph, right? Doesn't have any computing involved with it. Yeah, the correct word for the blue marble that you're referring to is a composite, right? From Grimmy with the $5, is it just me, or do flat earthers generally just seem like special pleading based on skepticism? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. From Joshua with the $2, incredulity and ad hominems. Yeah, Dawa is he's a pretty bad faith interlocutor. From Chase Martin with the $2, nuh-uh. Every FLERF ever when shown evidence. Always they will never accept any piece of evidence that contradicts their worldview. From Blancs with the $5, always love how it's any evidence is fake, and then the proof for their point is, come on, man, you believe that? Yeah, I know. It's either that, or it's like, but I saw this thing on TikTok, right? From Empiricist with the $2, math isn't something that happens in his mind. Oh, you know what? You're right. I should have acknowledged that, because maybe it was ableist of me. No, that's rude. Never mind. I shouldn't say that it's ableist of me to make fun of him, because that's harmful to people who actually have disabilities. Cancel me. From the V dude with the $5, the time lapse of Artemis photos that show satellites was posted in #space or in the #space discussion channel in Discord. Shouldn't have to scroll far up. Let me take a look. Space. Wait, time lapse or timeline? Oh, okay. I did see this. Yeah, it is really cool. I agree. From Gretchen with the $3, Dawa tried to run free script and failed hard. Yeah, he did. And from Ancient Irish Celt with the €2, MK Ultra true because government bad, NASA fake because government good. Right? It's like there's no consistency, right? All right, let's bring up Royal English Space Station. With a name like that, no way he's a flat earther. Royal English Space Station, how's it going?
The Earth's an obtuse spheroid.
Okay, you're also like 13 years old, I'm sorry. Also, we don't platform the British here. All right, let's talk to Andre. I think we've spoken to Andre before. Andre, how's it going?
Hi, how's it going?
Andre,
I'm actually in space now. The Earth is not flat.
Based. All right, let's talk to Harkaden.
Hey.
Harkaden, how's it going?
Doing pretty good, and you?
Doing all right. Harkaden, what shape do you think the Earth is?
My bad. So I think it's spherical, but this is coming from a Christian point of view.
That's
and
cool.
this is.
But you think it's spherical, so.
Yeah, but wait, one second. I want to say, a lot of people that are thinking is flat and all that, they're using this book called Book of Wisdom from Harry B. Joseph, which is a pack of conspiracy BS.
You think I don't know this?
Well, I rarely hear so, but I'm glad that you do know this. But yeah, I just wanted to say that people should pay more attention buying telescope and looking out there instead of their phone.
I'm going to let you go, Harkonnen. Thanks for being here. Let's talk to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, how's it going?
Yeah, good, man. The Earth is flat.
Why do you think the Earth is flat?
Just trust me, bro. Trust me. Earth is flat.
Okay, but why don't you just trust me that the Earth is a sphere?
Trust me, bro. The Earth is flat as fuck. I'm walking in.
Maybe it was just a troll. It's fine. It's fine. It's my life. Okay, so there are actually like at least a dozen-ish flat earthers who are currently in the TikTok live chat. And there are 800 people watching. So it seems like all of the flat earthers are at this point afraid to defend their worldview, which from what I'm hearing through the grapevine from you lovely people, is that I guess the flat earth daddies are telling their flat earth babies that they don't want to, that they shouldn't come talk to people like me because we're demons. So, you know, maybe they've live visibility restricted for 10 minutes. Why? What do you mean? Why? What did I do? Why is it? What? Why? Why was it restricted? Oh boy. Well, it's okay. I mean, there are still flat earthers in here, and if they're too cowardly, yeah, maybe it's the demons. If they're too cowardly to actually like come up and have a conversation, then that's on them. Like, it just seems like if you can't defend your worldview, that you can only listen to people who already agree with you, then I can't really help you, right? Like, that seems like a personal problem, not a, seems like perhaps a problem with your worldview rather than a problem with the way the world actually is. Yeah, delusions are safe in the echo chamber. That's very true. Let me check something really quick. Yeah, they are quite loud in chat though. We got a $2 super chat from Robert for "It's okay to punch Nazis." Look, I'm not advocating violence here. Never. I would never do such a thing. All right, we have Crazy Cat Lady Crystals joining. Crazy Cat Lady Crystals, how's it going?
It's going okay. I'm over the age of 18. I'm 52.
Okay.
And just all of that. And I am a Glober now, but for a long time I was into the flat earth and all that rigmarole. And I just wanted to come on and say that I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody that's doing this. Your knowledge makes my brain hurt because you're really smart.
I appreciate that, but Crazy Cat Lady, I'm looking for opposition, so thank you for being here. Look, we gotta respect the rules of the live. Let's bring up Wistful. Wistful, how's it going?
Yo.
Wistful, what shape do you think the Earth is?
Pardon?
What shape do you think the Earth is?
I think it's flat.
Why do you think it's flat?
It just makes more sense to me.
What about it?
Well, the one thing I always wonder is they say Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour. But then if you're in a helicopter, why aren't you just drifting away?
Because so the atmosphere is also spinning at approximately 1,000 miles an hour if you're at the equator.
Yeah, well, if you're not at the equator,
then the Earth isn't spinning at 1,000 miles an hour.
Okay, well then, if you're hovering somewhere in the Earth is moving, so why don't you?
Because the atmosphere is moving too.
You said that's the equator.
Look, the atmosphere moves with the Earth. On parts of the Earth that are moving faster, like at the equator, the atmosphere is moving faster. Parts of the atmosphere that are moving slower, like in, say, 45 degrees north latitude, the Earth is moving slower, and so is the atmosphere.
What about water? If
What about
the atmosphere moves, that means water moves as well.
The water,
So
the
then wouldn't there
earth,
be like a
the
massive
water,
wave?
the
Wouldn't
earth,
there be
the
like a
rock,
massive
it all
wave?
moves together on
Yeah, but
average.
wouldn't there be like a massive wave?
Why would there be a massive wave if the water is moving with the ground?
If you have water in a glass and you push it, the water then also moves.
That's because the water is going from stopped to started, right? The water is already moving with the ground. Like if you just have water in a... Oh, he ran. Okay. Bring up our next guest. From Thorns DJ. Not from. That's just his name. Thorns DJ. How's it going?
How's it going, mate?
I'm doing all right. Thorns, what shape do you think the Earth is?
I believe it's flat.
Why do you think so?
Well, one thing is, if you're going to put a photo of the flat Earth, at least don't use a psyop. Use the real picture of flat Earth.
There are no real pictures of a flat Earth.
Of course there's not, because you can't go high enough to take a picture
So
of the
then
full
why
flat
did you
Earth.
tell me to use a real picture of the flat Earth?
Because space doesn't exist in the flat Earth model, and you've got a disk floating in space with water falling
I
off it,
do.
which is
I do because
stupid.
I'm making fun of flat earthers because it's a silly idea.
Because that's what you're trying to do, because you're making it sound stupider than it is.
Well, it is stupid. But look, if you believe it's true, why don't you tell me why and we can talk about it?
Right. Let's ask a few things. If space exists,
By the way, you just got really muffled. I don't know what just happened to your mic, but
how does
thank you. Much better.
If space is real and it's a vacuum, you believe that?
Mm-hmm. Well, at least it's nearly a vacuum. It's not a perfect vacuum.
How can we have a pressurized system like Earth next to a vacuum of space without the gas pressure being sucked out into the vacuum of space without a physical container?
Yeah. So there's two mistakes here. First, vacuums don't suck. Vacuums don't.
Okay.
The existence of a vacuum is just nothing, right? There's nothing in a vacuum. Okay. So the existence of nothing doesn't do anything. What is the case is that if you put a highly pressurized system that's not contained in some way next to something that doesn't have any, next to something that's empty, the highly pressurized system, well, what pressure is a whole bunch of stuff bouncing off each other, right? And so it'll bounce off each other and spread out. Now, that is true when there's no containing force. Fortunately, on Earth, we have a containing force, and it's called gravity.
Okay, but that's your answer to everything is gravity. But gravity hasn't. You can't do any test to prove gravity exists.
Sure, you can.
What's one
it's like
test?
You've never looked into this. The Cavendish experiment is the oldest test in the book, and it's been repeated hundreds of times. Yeah, sure.
Explain it to me.
Yeah, so, and I'm surprised that you haven't heard of this. If you're making the claim that you can't run any, I mean,
no, I'm
have you heard of it before?
Fond of a few experiments. No, not this Cavendish experiment.
But then,
just explain it to me.
Have you looked?
No,
I'm happy to. I'm happy to. But like, have you?
No, explain
have
it to
you
me.
looked?
Just explain. I haven't heard of it. No.
Thorns, please, hold on. I'm just I'm happy to explain it to you in a minute, but I'm just a little bit puzzled. You made the claim that like you can't experimentally show that gravity exists ever, but it like just sounds like you haven't Googled this.
But the thing is with you can't just say gravity exists when it can work both ways.
It just sounds like you haven't Googled this, otherwise you would have run into the Cavendish experiment in the past,
and density,
right?
If you have buoyancy and density, you don't need gravity.
Well,
you only need gravity. You only need gravity to prove that you live on a spinning ball.
You still can't account for the measured attraction between masses. But like, look, it's just strange that you would have never run into the Cavendish experiment. Anyway, I can show you an amateur version of the Cavendish experiment if you'd like. But let me show you a diagram really quick, because it's a little bit hard to tell what's going on in the amateur experiment.
Yes, it's always complicated stuff with the globe model, isn't
It's not that complicated, which is why I'm showing you a pretty straightforward.
It's always complicated.
It's really not. That's why I'm showing you a pretty simple diagram.
You don't need gravity for buoyancy, Jeff.
It seems like that you're. It seems like that you're a little bit confused. Okay, so can you see this behind me?
Yeah, it's just way too confusing. You have to make it confusing.
Really, this is confusing. There's like
mass attracts mass.
There's like three move. Okay, so what? Let me explain this diagram. So you have a horizontal rod. Maybe it's metal, maybe it's wood, whatever it is. This horizontal rod here.
Yeah.
On either end, you have two small masses, right? The yellow balls. Now that rod is suspended from, say, the ceiling, or wherever it is. Like if it's in a box, whatever it is, suspended from a ceiling by a string, and then there's just a mirror attached to the string, right? Now, if you just let it be, if you didn't do anything near it, eventually that string would stop rotating. I mean, if it was windy or whatever, it would oscillate back and forth a little bit. But if you left it alone long enough, it would stop rotating.
I get the gist of it, mate. Right? Why does it have to be?
So you've never heard of it, so I'm explaining it. I'm sorry, you've never heard of it, so I'm explaining it.
You're just going out of your common sense.
Okay, look, I'm going to explain it to you because clearly you've never heard of this, and you need it to be explained. So I'm going to explain it. I haven't even gotten to the gravity part. So you can't say that you understand it if you've never heard of it, and you don't, and you haven't let me explain it yet. Anyway, so you attach a little mirror to it, and then you can shine a laser on that mirror, and you can see how rotated that that horizontal bar is based off of where the mirror ends up on a wall. So you shine a laser here onto the mirror, and then, you know, if the rod twists ever so slightly, the point on the wall will move. It'll move left or right depending on how it's twisting. Then what you do is then you take two heavy masses, lead balls, maybe gold, iron, bronze, whatever, and then you put them on either side so that if gravity were real, it would start to twist. And when you do that, when you put them close to the other smaller masses, indeed it does start to twist, and we see that happening with the laser dot on the wall on the other end of the room. Now, feel free to unmute. Feel free to ask your questions, and I can explain how the experiment works.
Lovely stuff for that. All right. Well, let me go into my version of what you think gravity really is. Okay, so obviously you know if something's heavier than the mass around it or the medium around it, then it's going to fall, right?
When something's heavier, what do you mean by heavier?
Something's heavier than the medium around it.
What do you mean by heavier?
Obviously a bowling ball is heavier than air.
Do you mean
heavier
denser?
than air? It's going to fall.
Do you mean denser?
Denser, heavier? Yeah.
Yeah, those
it's the same thing.
No, because heaviness is about weight. Density is about weight divided by volume.
Okay, right. Let me talk. All right. Obviously, buoyancy works the same way. So if you have something lighter than, say, air, like helium, it's going to float. If you're on a level plane, like say flat Earth, you don't need to implement gravity to make it believe that we're stuck to a spinning water ball.
Are we going to talk about this experiment or not?
It's too confusing. I guarantee 90% of your viewers don't even understand.
This is like so simple
to
understand. The
globe model is so makes it so overcomplicated when it's so simple.
Look, so Thorns,
it's so simple. It's so simple.
I have experience teaching well, 18 or 19-year-olds. I've experienced teaching, you know, introductory students in physics classes. So I have experience explaining this stuff. So Thorns, which part of this experiment is complicated for you?
All you've done is you've learned how to remember and regurgitate information. You don't actually.
Why can't you
really
answer my question? Which part is
it's
complicated
like
for
how
you?
you become a teacher.
So
it is complicated. I'm not going to lie. Everything about the globe model is complicated.
Which part of this specific experiment is complicated?
But you don't need none of that to.
Well,
you don't need none of that.
For a demonstration.
How does this prove
for a
gravity?
demonstration, and I gave you one.
Tell me how this proves gravity.
Because when you put the heavy balls next to the light ones, the rod twists in exactly the rate that would be expected from mass attracting mass.
Yeah. Are you sure that's not because it's heavier on a spinning fucking that cone thing? It's sitting on that cone.
What cone? This thing? That's just a balance.
Yeah.
It's just a balance for the heavy rods.
If it's like that,
the light
it's
rod
like
isn't
the same way a
attached to
propeller
it.
works.
The light rod isn't attached to the balance.
No, it does. It's not really proving anything from a diagram.
So well, this is just the diagram because I was using it to explain how the experiment works. I can show you the actual experiment in action, but I'm asking because me showing you the experiment in action will be useless if you don't understand what the experiment is doing. So I'm asking you, do you understand how the experiment works?
What gravity is?
Do you understand how the experiment works?
I said I do, yeah.
Okay, so what would you so if gravity were real, what would you expect would happen when you put the heavy masses next to the light masses?
It would attract.
Okay, well, what would you see on
mass? Because obviously you believe mass attracts mass.
What would you see from the lasers, where would you see the laser move to?
I still don't see how this is proof of gravity anyway.
Why can't you answer my question?
I can.
If
I'm just saying you would see it move.
How would the laser appear to move?
But if it does move, it still doesn't prove that gravity exists.
Can you answer my question?
You have that building with the ball under it. Do you know?
If gravity were real,
I'm not answering.
Oh, so you refuse? Yeah. You're just going to dodge?
No. We can go on to something else because I don't believe this proves anything.
If gravity were real, how would you expect the laser to move in this diagram? Can you answer that?
I'm not answering it. I don't understand it too well.
Oh, okay. So you don't understand.
I don't get. I think the diagram's
overcomplicated. The diagram is very simple. It has like 3 parts. So
it's simple, but it still doesn't prove that gravity exists.
I know that's what you're going to keep telling yourself, and I'll just keep explaining.
If gravity was real,
this isn't complicated. This is very, very straightforward.
It wouldn't be called gravity theory, would it? Would it be called gravity theory?
There's
It is
No,
called gravity
there's
theory.
gravitation, which is a phenomenon. There's the universal law of gravitation, which is a law, and then there's general relativity, a model or theory of gravity. There's 3 different kinds of things. Anyway,
Yeah, it's
so
still
I'll
it's
explain it to you
still it's
again.
still gravity theory, though.
No, no, it's not. So I'll explain it to you again. So we have the ball.
Please do.
We have the 2 light balls. You go into there, hanging or attached to a rod. The rod is rigid. It's like wooden or metal or something like that, and it's hanging from a string. Now, if gravity is real, then what would happen as you move the heavy masses next to the light masses? What would happen?
What do you mean move them?
Like they're on a spinning platform. So like you can put them closer, or you can put them further away.
Oh, you actually move them then?
Yeah, you have the heavy masses. You can put the heavy masses close to
so
the
you're
light
not
masses.
spinning it, no?
So the
So you're
heavy,
gonna spin
the
it?
heavy masses you can move. That's your
All right, yeah,
independent
go on.
variable, right? You can manipulate where the heavy masses are. If you put the heavy masses near the light masses, see how they're
Right.
near them in this picture?
Yeah.
What would happen to the light masses? Where would they go?
I thought you was explaining it to me.
I was. It's called the Socratic method of teaching.
Oh no, I don't need to know. I just need you to explain it.
Okay, then I'll.
So
explain
where would it
fine.
go?
Yeah. So if gravity was real, then the smaller masses would be attracted to the bigger masses. So this ball would move towards that ball, and this ball would move towards that ball, which means that the whole thing would rotate counterclockwise, right? This thing would start to rotate this way, this one would start to rotate that way, and it's hanging from a string, so it would rotate. Which means that the mirror would rotate counterclockwise, which means that the angle that the laser hits the mirror at would change, and it would deflect to the right. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So, when we do this experiment, that's exactly what happens. So, in fact, that is
you're not going
evidence.
to show me a working. You're not going to show. Are you going to show me a working?
Yeah, I can show you a working example. Sure. Let me pull it up really quick.
I'm listening, John. He's saying I'm not listening.
And by the way,
That's why I'm not
this
talking.
one was done by an amateur, which is really great. He did a really good job. So this is not like some government whatever. This is done by a YouTuber named Blue Marble Science. His account name's over here. You can pull up the video and watch it on your own time if you want.
I like both sides of the story. I will listen.
So I'm just trying to find a.
There's way
picture.
too much. There's way too much proof of the flat Earth now that I can't be a globe.
Okay, so here's his apparatus, right? I don't know if you can see this. On the left, you have the see that big copper thing? That's where the small balls is hanging. It's like it's suspended in there. The copper is basically a shield to prevent electric forces from being involved and magnetic forces from being
Holy
involved.
God, I still haven't asked a few questions, mate. I'm just listening to his point about gravity.
And so
We'll still go on.
then we have the heavy balls over here. That's on the other side. You can see it over here, right? You can see the heavy ball there. Yeah. It's still far away. So this is the apparatus. You can see that it's the same thing that I showed you in the diagram. Or similar. It's a little bit more sophisticated because it's shielded.
Because he's saying 1 point, Costa. Why would I keep changing the comment?
Why are you reading the chat?
Because they're saying that I haven't presented no proof, which I will get onto.
So here is the laser. Here is the laser on the far side of the wall coming to rest, basically just wiggling back and forth a lot. And then, so here's the actual laser beam deflection when it's close. Let me see if I can go a little bit further away, a little bit further back. So that's the oscillation. So it's going to wiggle a little bit, so that we just need to know how fast it's oscillating. So here is the deflection of the laser beam. It's there. And then we want to skip forward a little bit. So, okay, so it was here when the.
So what's moving it now?
So currently it's not moving, right? So here's the current configuration. You have the masses on one side. So you have you have one heavy mass here, and then you'll have another heavy mass over here, which is not in frame, and the laser is there, right? Now what he's going to do is he's going to rotate the entire system.
Yeah.
And he's going to put the heavy mass on the other side. Yeah, he's moving the heavy mass. He's not touching
He's physically pushing it.
Well, yeah, he's rotating the heavy mass, not the stuff on the middle, not the
Well,
lighter
that doesn't
masses.
agree with me.
Please,
That doesn't
please,
agree with me. How
Let
that
me
proves
finish,
it.
please.
Go on.
The heavy masses are not touching the lighter masses, right? So he's moving the heavier masses to the other side. And so, as he moves the heavier masses to the other side, now it should cause it to rotate to the other direction, right? Because now you've changed the direction of the forces. Now what we can do is we can skip forward. And there's a clock in the background so you can see it. So this is 10x speed. And look how it's drifting. Just because the location of the heavier masses has changed direction.
Okay. Is that so? This experiment is proof enough to believe in gravity?
Well, not this experiment alone, but this is probably one of the best demonstrations of the experiment.
Right, that's fair enough.
Why do you have to interrupt me answering? This is probably one of the best demonstrations that's available on YouTube.
I mean, you've been talking the whole time. I'm just saying that it doesn't really prove anything.
So what we've seen is that the laser has moved, and the only thing that's changed is that the heavy masses are now on the other side of the lighter masses. It's the only thing that's changed. So you have an alternative explanation that just relies on buoyancy and density that could explain this?
I mean, I think the whole test is pretty shit, to be fair.
What about it is shit?
It doesn't. I don't think it proves anything, to be honest.
It sounds like that you just don't
I
understand
just
what the
feel like one
experiment's
of the
doing.
balls is heavier than the other, so it's drifting a bit.
Why? So why are the lighter? So the lighter ball is suspended by a string.
Can we get off this subject? Because I still
because
don't.
It destroys your worldview, I guess. So the lighter balls are
this
suspended
test
in
destroys
this
the flat
apparatus.
Earth, yeah.
It does, yeah. The lighter balls are suspended in this apparatus, in this copper apparatus, connected to this.
Can we go on to another subject?
Connected to this rod. Why is that rod twisting when you put heavy masses on either side of it? Why does it make the rod twist?
I'll look into it for you, but I just think he's pushing it. So
he's not
if
touching.
gravity was existing, you wouldn't need to.
He's not touching.
You wouldn't need to touch it at all with gravity. If mass attracts mass, you wouldn't need to touch it at all. Why has he got to push it?
He's not touching the stuff on the inside. He's moving.
He moved it physically with himself.
He moved the heavy masses, not the light masses.
If mass attracts mass, if mass really attracts mass, you wouldn't have to touch it at all. But he does. Why does he have to touch it?
He's doing an experiment. The independent variable is the location.
The experiment is mass attracts mass.
The independent variable is the location of the heavy masses. So if you want to manipulate the independent variable, which is how you do an experiment, you have to change the location of the heavy masses.
All right. Explain to me. Let's change the subject a bit. Explain to me how
we can move on.
How do rockets
work in space? As long as we all recognize that you've been folded, that's fine. Go ahead. No,
how do rockets work in space?
1 sec.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Newton's third law?
It still doesn't work because there was a test that proves it doesn't work. I've got a video.
So you're not familiar with
someone
Newton's
trying
third
to.
law? I can draw a diagram if you want.
Newton's third law doesn't work because
doesn't.
if you have nothing to push off of, how does thrust work?
Well, Newton's third law isn't about pushing off of something. Let me draw you a diagram, and hopefully you'll see how intuitive it is.
Yeah, you don't have nothing to push off of in the vacuum of space.
You don't need to push off of anything. Okay, so I'm going to draw you a diagram because we love diagrams here. So
there's video proof that it doesn't work in a chamber.
Oh, there's video proof of it working in a chamber too. So anyway, let me draw you a diagram. Okay,
there's not
this is pretty straightforward.
It only works.
I can show you one, but you wouldn't want that.
When it pushes off the wall of the vacuum chamber.
So I'm going to draw you a diagram.
It only moves.
This is acceptable for you.
Show me the video of it working.
I'm going to draw you a diagram first. Okay.
Okay, another diagram. Here we go.
Well, yeah.
You can't use common sense. You have to use diagrams.
So the lovely thing about diagrams
is the problem with the globe, guys.
The lovely thing about diagrams is that a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? And like I understand that you don't want to see a diagram. I understand that you don't want to see a diagram. Hey, look, I gotta mute you here. I understand that you don't want to see a diagram because you know it's going to make your worldview seem crazy unintuitive. But the reality is that diagrams are a great way of demonstrating a point. Okay, so here is a cross section of our rocket nozzle, and then then there's stuff up here, and ignore that. There's also going to be like a little baby like gap here, right? This is an approximation. It's not quite right, but so this is the cross section of a rocket nozzle. Now imagine instead of having gas that's shoved out the back, imagine instead that you shove a grenade out the back, right? So here we have a grenade. I don't know what I'm doing. Here you have a grenade. You shove it out the back of your rocket, right? You're in space. You're in space. Space is going to be gray because I chose to make the rocket black. Why is it? Everybody, I'm a professional. So you're in space, right? And so you shove a grenade out the back, right? You shove a grenade out the back, and then you let go somehow, from the pin, you pull the pin out, you let go of the spoon, whatever, and then the grenade explodes. So the grenade is going to send shrapnel in all sorts of directions, right? There's going to be a piece that goes off here, a piece that goes off here, a piece that goes off here, a piece that goes off here. You know, shrapnel of all kinds, being shot off in every which way. Let me make sure that I don't make space accidentally green. So you have a shrapnel sent off every which way, right? Oops. And now the grenade is no longer there, right? So we can erase the grenade. It's exploded. It exploded out the back of the rocket ship. Great. Okay. So that's the grenade. Now, that grenade, it shot stuff off in every direction, right? So I'm just going to draw some arrows to indicate. So this one's going this way. 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 That way. That right. It's shooting stuff off in every direction. Now, the lovely thing is that that the parts of the grenade, these parts, they're just gonna, well, I guess these parts I didn't draw it perfectly, but these parts they're just gonna go out. They're just gonna leave the back of the rocket ship, right? But these ones here, they're gonna bump into the rocket ship. And when they bump into the rocket ship, well, what happens when one thing hits another? It's gonna push it a little bit, right? And so these parts of the grenade are gonna bump in to the rocket and give the rocket a little bit of a nudge in the forward direction. And the reason that happened was because there was a symmetric explosion in the middle that went in all directions, but the nozzle is only open on one side. So some of the stuff will go out the back and just continue on forever until it hits something, of course. But some of it will hit the rocket and push it forward. Does that make sense?
No, it does. You still have no medium to push off of.
Which part of that requires a medium?
you tell me, yeah. Obviously, a plane works because of thrust pushing off air.
He's not going to address anything I just said. That's
no,
cool.
no, listen. A plane works because thrust is pushing off the air, right?
No.
Agree?
A plane works because it takes air in and then it shoves the air out the back.
Yeah, because it's pushing off the air.
No, it's not pushing off the air. It shoves the
so what is it
takes
pushing?
air in. It's pushing
So it's
air inside of its jet engine out the back.
All right.
That's how it works.
So if there's nothing to push, if there's no air or nothing,
the air
how is
isn't
it going to
pushing.
move?
The air that it shoves out the back isn't pushing off of anything, except the plane itself. So that's like
yeah, it's pushing off the air, mate.
It's not pushing,
off the air.
So instead of just repeating your thought terminating cliche, why don't you address the diagram that I'm drawing for you? So
all right.
If
So you're telling me
if I took a grenade and I put a grenade inside of a bowl. Like say the bowl is just in space,
you show me a video. You show me a video right now. You said you had a video of it working.
Hold on. Why
aren't you
understanding this?
Because you're not understanding.
You're cutting me off.
It doesn't matter how big the explosion is. Mate, you're the one who cuts me off.
Okay, so which part of this diagram doesn't make sense to you?
It makes sense, but how can you push off? How can something push off itself when there's nothing there?
What's pushing
That's
off
like
of
me
itself?
saying I'm going to
Nothing's
stand
pushing
on a
off of itself.
skateboard and push myself.
Nothing's
That's
pushing
like me
off of
saying I'm going to
itself.
stand with both legs up. So if I stand on a skateboard, yeah, and I push myself, how am I going to move?
Nothing's pushing itself.
You just said it's pushing off itself.
No, the grenade is exploding,
Yeah, you did.
and the grenade is
right.
pushing
So
the
there's a
rocket
grenade
forward.
in a rocket, which which isn't what's happening.
It's basically
but there's
what's
a grenade in
happening,
a rocket, and no, it's just a lot of thrust, mate. So you've got a lot of thrust pushing out the back of the boosters.
What do you think thrust is?
I know what thrust is,
Yeah,
but
what is
it may take off. It may take off, yeah. But when you get into a vacuum of space,
Hold on. What do you think? What do you think thrust is?
No. How can you have thrust working in a vacuum of space?
Okay, so to be clear, do you
Come
understand
on,
that
man,
if
tell me. I keep saying.
I just don't want you to pivot. I just don't want you to pivot, right? And
Right,
we can talk about that in a minute.
I'm not pivoting.
So, do you think that like if I had a bowl-shaped thing, like see how this is kind of bowl-shaped here, and I put a grenade, assume the
Which is a
bowl-shaped thing
thrust
is.
body. I know. I see what you're doing. I see what you're
Please,
doing. It's
I'm
a
in the
thrust
middle.
body.
I'm in the middle of a sentence. Assume the bowl is like strong enough that it doesn't break. You put a grenade next to it. They're both floating in space. The grenade goes off. Would the grenade push the bowl in the other direction?
No.
Why not? What part of this diagram is
Because
confusing?
one thing is, in a vacuum, it wouldn't even ignite.
Grenades don't need air in order to function.
Yeah, but let's say there wouldn't be a big explosion in space, was there?
Well, that's why I was using shrapnel. I'm not using like pressure waves
obviously,
or something.
there's everything.
There's
Obviously,
shrapnel,
vacuums you
right?
said don't suck. Which,
There's
vacuums
shrapnel,
you say
right?
don't suck, which they do.
There's shrapnel, right?
It might be a bit of shrapnel, but there's no
So that shrapnel,
there's nothing that would
that
move.
shrapnel
There
will
was
go
nothing
in
that would
all
move
directions, right?
It wouldn't move. Thrust cannot work in.
Wait, so you don't
in
think
spaces. If there's,
you don't think explosions
I don't
can
think
work
it
in
would-
space?
I mean, is there a test that can prove that?
I bet you I can go find a gun firing in a vacuum chamber.
So, show me. Yeah, possibly. But I want to see. I want to see that gun moving backwards the other way.
You want to see recoil?
Yeah, I want to see thrust pushing
But to be
an
clear,
iron in a vacuum.
that this is now pivoting. If you agree that a gun can
No, it's
function in a
not.
vacuum
It's the
chamber,
same. It's the same concept, though, isn't it?
it's
the same concept.
it's pivot to a different subtopic. The point is if you agree that if you agree that a gun can fire in a vacuum chamber, then a grenade can function in a vacuum.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay, well, let me show you a video of a gun
You
firing in
need
a vacuum
ignition,
chamber.
really. Jeez. I want to see your concept of a rocket. Because I've got a video of it not working. Also, I've got
Here,
a video
one
of a
sec.
drone in a vacuum chamber where it has to land because there's nothing to push off of.
Okay, here we go. Let me just show you really quick. This is from Mythbusters, by the way.
Oh yeah, typical.
Oh, I mean, it was a good show. So here, I can't play the audio, but we should be able to see the dial in a sec. Oh, play. So you can see the dial over there. A little bit hard to see the whole thing. Here's the firearm.
I can't put any
it
video.
fires. What's the recoil?
I can't put any video. I can't put any videos of me. Yeah, because it's on an object. It's held down by an object. It's not suspended.
What's causing the recoil? Also, by the way, we did just see it fire in a vacuum.
Probably the kick of the gun.
The kick of the gun is recoil.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So we agree that
the actual mechanism of the gun.
Where do you think?
Now
that is the recoil.
Show, yeah,
that is the recoil.
It's completely different to a rocket. Show me.
It's not completely different to a rocket, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
Wait a minute. So, by the way, what do you think causes the recoil here?
No. Show me the video.
Hold on. What do you think causes the recoil here?
Rocket. No, show me the video of the rocket.
What do you think causes recoil?
Not sure. Probably the kick of the gun.
What the kick of the gun is the recoil. What do you think causes it to kick?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What do you think causes it to kick?
The bullet.
What about the bullet
when the
makes
thing
it
hits
kick?
the back of the bullet and the gunpowder.
Okay, we're almost there. Yeah. So gunpowder. So the gunpowder explodes in the chamber, right?
Yeah.
It forces the bullet out one way. What happens to the explosion that goes in the other direction?
But there's walls in that vacuum chamber. That's what I'm trying to scare.
Hold on. What happens to the So the gunpowder goes off inside the barrel of the gun, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So some of that explosion pushes forward, and that's what carries the bullet outwards, right?
Yeah.
What about the part of the explosion that goes backwards? What happens to that?
The gun's not moving. That's what I'm trying to say. I need to
wasn't
show
my
you
question.
something. I need to
what
see
happens to that part of the explosion, right? The explosion, the gunpowder doesn't know which way to explode. It just explodes in all directions, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the direction that goes out the barrel, that pushes the bullet forward. What about the part of the explosion that goes in the other direction?
Yeah, I'm just saying though.
What happens to that part of the what happens to that part of the explosion?
What in
does it just
a gun?
keep going for it? Yeah, in a gun. Yeah.
The one that goes forwards.
The one that goes backwards. The part of the explosion that goes backwards.
Goes out the chamber. The part of the bullet goes out the chamber.
We're not talking about the bullet. We're talking about the part of the explosion that's pushing in the opposite direction. That expand because the explosion is just a rapid expansion, right? Part of it goes forward, pushing the bullet out. Part of it goes backward. What happens to the part that goes backward?
Not too sure.
Does it run into anything?
I think it all kicks.
Does it run into anything?
The barrel of the gun?
Well, some of it's going to go out sideways, and that will run into the barrel of the gun, yeah. What about the part that goes backwards?
Yeah. Don't know. I'm not too keyed up on how guns work, to be fair.
So at least in this firearm, it looks like it's going to hit this part of the gun, because the bullet is fired from here, and so part of the explosion will go out this way, part of it will go that way. But there's a piece of metal in the way, right? There's a piece of metal preventing the explosion from going out the back. And so that explosion hits the gun, and it pushes the gun backwards.
All right.
That's the
now
recoil.
Can you get the video that I wanted up?
So as long as we agree that the recoil of a gun in a vacuum is caused by the explosion pushing the gun backwards, then
that's what I'm trying
we're
to
in agreement.
say.
Yeah.
Show the video of the rocket working in the vacuum.
Okay.
You're not. You're just showing me a gun
Hold on.
shooting.
Well, to be clear,
on
this is
it.
exactly the same mechanism. By the way, there's nothing different
Yeah, but
happening
it's not
here.
suspended. I can see the mechanism there. What it's holding the gun.
Yeah, something's holding the gun. What's the issue with that? That's
Exactly.
why. That's
So
why
how
instead
does
of
that-
drifting backwards, it just tilts, right? Because
But
it's being
it
held.
wouldn't drift backwards.
So what do you think is causing it to rotate?
It wouldn't kick backwards. The mechanisms it's sitting on.
So see how it kicks backwards?
Yeah, well, it's sitting on the mechanism.
You
innit?
think that
So
the
it's not
mechanism
really...
is? You think that the mechanism is just pulling it backwards at just the right time?
Possibly, I don't know.
Are you high?
No.
Okay.
I just want you to show me a suspended rocket working in a vacuum.
Okay, so do you think that when people are firing firearms, that they're
still
faking
not
the
answering
recoil?
me. No, I just want you to.
Why
show
does
me
the gun go
I'm gonna
backwards?
keep saying the same thing.
Obviously, the
I'm
gun
gonna
goes
keep saying the same
backwards
thing.
because
Show
the
me-
explosive
show me
gas
the
is
video.
bumping into the firearm. But sure, I will show
me
you. I
the
will show.
video
Yeah, I will.
of-
One sec.
Please show me the video
Of
of this rocket working in a vacuum.
Yep. Let me show you.
And it only moves when it pushes off the wall of the vacuum chamber. If it's the same one I'm thinking of. You're gonna watch it first.
Yeah, hold on. No, I'm just pulling it up. Am I on the right one? You mean this one, right?
No.
Rocket
never
in a
seen
vacuum
this one.
chamber. So there's a rocket.
Never seen it before. Yeah.
Okay, well we can watch it together. And there's the
never seen it.
there's okay, well good. We're gonna watch it together. So you can look at how much thrust there is. The thrust is measured over
Where
here.
is it suspended?
It's just attached to a thing. See how the thrust is popping up? So it's in a vacuum.
The thing.
Oh, and look
It's
at the
not
thrust.
suspended.
Look at that thrust. What do you mean it's not? Do you want it to be floating?
Yeah, there's a video of a rocket in a vacuum chamber, and it only moves when it's pushing off the walls.
Wait a minute. How
because
is the
I
rocket?
don't think you understand.
Wait,
I don't think you understand.
I don't think
that it only works
you're right.
when it pushes off the
I don't
wall.
understand. How is the
Yeah, but
rocket?
the thrust
is the rocket floating in the video that you're talking about?
No, listen. It's suspended. It's held. It's held. So I'm guessing that's
Okay.
a weight, which.
So
shows
this
the
is held
thrust, yeah?
too,
Is that
right?
is that a weight? Is that a weight? Is that a weight?
Is what a
that
weight?
it showing how hard it's pushing?
Oh, yeah, that's a scale. Yeah, that's a scale.
Right. So the thrust is only working when it pushes off the walls of the vacuum chamber.
I mean that's not true.
So this proves.
You can see the thrust. You can see the thrust.
Yeah,
You can see the thrust before the
yeah, but
before
look
the
how
gas has
quickly-
even gotten
yeah,
to the
watch.
vacuum chamber.
Put it to the start. Put it to the start.
Yeah. You can see the thrust before the gas has even gotten to the edge of the vacuum chamber.
So the thrust will be hitting the back of the It is a horrible example. It's a horrible example.
This is a great
But the
example.
thrust
You
will
can
be
see it
working in a
thrusting.
vacuum. Yeah, the thrust. I know that. I'm saying the thrust will only work when it's pushing off of the walls of the vacuum chamber.
But it's not. You can see the gas hasn't made it to the walls yet.
There's clearly a wall behind it because obviously otherwise it wouldn't.
You
be
mean
able to be
over
a
on this side?
Yeah.
It's not even in frame.
It doesn't matter.
And the gas hasn't made it there yet. The
The
gas hasn't made it there. How could it be pushing off of something it hasn't touched?
It would have pushed it. Look,
Except
watch
the
it in
thrust is
real
happening.
time.
Look, so here, the gas hasn't made it
will be
over
pushing
here
off
yet.
of it.
The gas hasn't made it over
It
here yet.
would've.
It's not. You can
Trust me, it
see
would've.
the gas is the
If
extent of
it
the gas is
explodes
here.
out, if the
extent of the thrust, the extent of the
see in the video, it
I'm
would've
sorry,
been
the
back.
extent of the gas is here. It's not over here yet, and yet there's still thrust that's measured. So at this point, we have now demonstrated two things. One, a firearm. A firearm has recoil in a vacuum chamber, and a firearm functions in a vacuum chamber.
But you still didn't show me
we've
the-
shown
the-
measured thrust from a rocket
You didn't
in a
show me the
vacuum
rocket
chamber.
moving in space. You didn't show me the rocket moving.
You'll think it's fake if I show you a video of that happening, so it's not worth showing you that
No,
video.
I want to show you that the video of the suspended
to be
rocket does
clear-
not move.
to be
and it
clear,
would move instantly.
It
would move
seems
instantly.
like so. This model seemed like a perfectly good model.
Yeah.
This diagram. You have part of the explosion that pushes off the front of the rocket, pushing it forward, and you have part of the explosion that just goes out into the rest of the world. And so,
But it's
if
still
this is
pushing
what's
off to
happening,
nothing.
okay, you understand that the shrapnel here.
There's nothing there. Yeah, but there's nothing there for it to move.
There's nothing there for what to move? The explosion?
The rocket.
The rocket is being pushed by the shrapnel.
Now get the video up.
The rocket is
of
being
the
wait, hold
suspended
on.
rocket
Do you not
in the
understand
vacuum
this
chamber.
diagram?
I can send you the link.
Okay, does this diagram
I'll
now
send you
make
the link, and it will destroy your idea.
Is this diagram like meaningless to you? Do you just
no,
not
it makes
understand?
sense, but it doesn't work. It doesn't
Which
work
part
in a
about it
vacuum.
doesn't work?
All of it. 'Cause
Be
there's nothing to
specific,
push off
please.
of. It still needs a medium to push off of. There's no medium.
So
to
the
push off of.
rocket is being pushed on by by
itself.
By the shrapnel. No, not. I haven't said that once. It's being pushed by the shrapnel, right? The shrapnel explodes, or the grenade explodes.
Which is it's attached to the rocket.
No, it's not attached to the rocket.
Yeah, but the thing that's causing the explosion is.
No, it's just a grenade. The grenade is not attached to the rocket.
So what's throwing the grenade, the thrust out? Let's just say it thrust, because I know it's
So
not a
the
grenade,
grenade is, you know, imagine somebody is just like, and obviously it's hard to draw, so I'm not going to draw it. But imagine you have somebody that just put a grenade outside of this rocket, and then they very, very quickly let go. Like they pulled the pin, they let go. It's just floating there in this little cup shape, right? It's just floating there in this little cup shape, and then it explodes. Where does the shrapnel go?
It's not going to go far in a vacuum, though, is it? It's
Why,
not pushing off.
what's going to stop the shrapnel from going in every direction?
Because you still need a medium to be pushed off of.
What's going to
push something?
So wait a
even
minute.
If there's
so
an
you
explosion.
don't? So there is an
And you-
explosion. The
like-
shrapnel's going to go in all directions, right?
So you think thrust works like a grenade?
Can you answer the question about the grenade?
But it's not a grenade. It's a fucking booster.
We'll get there. I promise we'll get there. But if you don't understand this, there's no way you're going to understand how rockets work.
Right. I just want you to show the video of the actual rocket
Okay, cool
model
deflection.
working in a vacuum.
I just need to confirm that you
No, it's
understand
not,
what's
because
going on with
there's
this
literally
diagram.
a video that proves you wrong. There's a video that proves you wrong, but you won't get it up because you know it'll destroy
So
it.
to be clear, you're just not going to address this diagram, right?
I know the diagram, but it's still not how a rocket works. But
So,
listen,
you won't get
the video.
This is
up of
an analogy.
You won't get the video up. Of the
I
rocket.
just need you
You won't get
to.
the video up of the
We
rocket.
can do whatever you want. I just need you.
Yeah,
to,
a grenade would push an item,
right,
but not in a vacuum of space.
Why wouldn't it work in a vacuum?
Because there's no medium to push off of.
There's no medium for what to push off of. The grenade
The rocket.
explodes. The rocket's not
So
pushing off of a
grenade
medium.
exploding in the booster would push the rocket because it's pushing both ways.
A grenade exploding in the engine would push the rocket. Yeah. Or, sorry, in the, like the rocket
That
nozzle, I
is
should
not
say.
that's not how a rocket works.
Do we agree that is true? That would happen?
I mean, if you had enough grenades, it might move.
Like
possibly.
One grenade would make it move a little bit if it's a big rocket and a small grenade, right?
But but thrusters only work by pushing boost out the back.
Okay, so do we agree that if you put a grenade in the bell of a rocket engine and you exploded the grenade, that the shrapnel from the grenade would push the rocket forward?
I can't tell you because we don't have a big enough vacuum chamber to prove that. Maybe, yeah. If I had a grenade next to something, it will push it. If I had a grenade, yeah, the explosion would push it on Earth. But I don't know about in the vacuum of space because it's a vast open vacuum.
So to be clear, so a grenade is a simple way that you can make a grenade is just put a bunch of gunpowder in a sealed container and then pop it, right?
I know that.
And gunpowder can
But
go off in a
we
vacuum.
can't-
We've been
can't
over
really
this.
do a test with that.
Well,
I can
we've been
only
over
show you
this.
the video of the rocket that doesn't work.
So we've been
in a
over
vacuum
this.
chamber, which proves you wrong.
Gunpowder does work in a vacuum chamber, right?
Right. In
So
a sealed gun, yeah.
Whether or not it's sealed is irrelevant. It's still vacuum.
Yeah, we got
So
people doing different
gunpowder
tests.
works in a
There's a
vacuum
lot of tests that
chamber.
prove it wrong.
Gunpowder. Do you think that there are tests of gunpowder not working in a vacuum chamber?
No, I'm saying the test that I want you to show, but you won't.
I'm happy to
Proves
show
you
whatever
wrong.
I'm happy to show whatever you want.
Please do.
But we have to
Please do.
finish this first, right?
Go on.
So we agree gunpowder can explode in a vacuum chamber. I showed you a video of a firearm going off in a vacuum, right?
Yep.
So that means that gunpowder will explode, which means it's going to cause an expansion of gases or shrapnel or whatever's surrounding the explosion is going to be pushed out. That'll happen in a vacuum chamber. Now, if you put all that gunpowder inside a metal ball and then you detonate that gunpowder, shrapnel will go in all directions, regardless of whether it's in a vacuum or not. Make sense?
All right. Yeah.
Okay, so if it's in a vacuum, the shrapnel can explode and go out in all directions. There's nothing stopping it from moving, so it's not just going to stop suddenly.
Yeah, I understand it.
And so it can push the rocket.
Is that how a rocket works?
This is
how a rocket works.
At a very basic level, yes, literally. They mix fuel and they mix oxygen in the combustion chamber, and then they ignite it. And some of it goes out the front, some of it pushes the front, and the rest goes out the back. It's literally how a rocket works. Yeah.
Okay. So you don't need nothing to push off of. It's just pushing off itself.
Well, no, you're basically causing an explosion, and the explosion pushes you forward.
Which is it pushing off itself?
Well, the explosion is like it's not like attached to the rocket.
How is it not attached to the rocket?
You think that like the gases aren't contained within the rocket. It's just like an open vent.
Well, they are, but
no, they're not.
I know what you mean.
But it's just like an open thing. You feed the fuel in, and then they're just in there. They're just in the chamber, hanging out. They're not like attached to the rocket with strings or with bolts or something.
Right,
it's just sitting inside the chamber.
Everyone's saying I don't understand. I understand, but I'm just saying there's a video that proves this all wrong.
All right, what's the video?
Just search rocket in vacuum chamber, and you can see it. And I can't really see what you're typing, so I don't know.
I'm just typing in rocket in vacuum chamber. Oops, sorry, that's the wrong thing.
The link. You'll see it looks like kind of like a that's it. Rockets in vacuum.
Oh, that's not a rocket though.
It is a rocket.
Oh, it's not. It's a syringe. I thought we were talking about rockets.
which is with rocket fuel.
No, it doesn't. There's no rocket happening in here. It's just a syringe that's having the air pushed out. No, it's literally not.
That's still how a rocket works.
No,
and you can see.
it's not how a rocket works. Yeah, so we can watch this.
But you can see thrust. It only works when it hits the wall of the vacuum.
So we can play this. We can play it sped up if you want.
But if it was to be real, it would move instantly because you can see the explosion. Yeah, see, it only moves when it hits the wall of the vacuum chamber.
Wait a minute. So why do you think? Hold on, I should slow that down a little bit because it was a little bit fast. So, do you know what's happening right now? See, oh, sorry.
We can't see it all.
Yeah, no, that's my bad. Okay, so what's happening here? What's happening here? So we have. So okay, so he's using a laser to ignite something, I guess, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Which is the explosion.
Well, it's not ignited yet, right? Okay, so see, we have a little puff of air that comes out. So it's not ignited yet.
Right.
You can still see the stuff inside. It's just a little smoke.
It's slow.
It's just a little smoke. Oh no, it's not slow.
Right, but it should be moving right now because that's the thrust.
So the amount of thrust would affect how much it. Hold on.
It only works when it hits the wall, though.
The amount of thrust that there is depends on how quickly the explosion is happening, right? So right now it's just a little. It's just a little something burning. It's just smoke, basically drifting out, and you can see how slowly the smoke is drifting out. It's just like kind of like dribbling out, right? And then
it's so slow.
Hold on.
Then, it only watch that again. It only works when it hits the wall.
Hold on, we're going to step by frame by frame.
If an explosion was really able to push something in a vacuum, then it would move instantly.
Why isn't it? Oh, one sec. Okay, hold on. I'm going to step frame by frame. I don't know why it's not letting me step through frame by frame. I just want to go to like the frame right before because we can see this happening. Wait, hold on.
See? Then it hits the wall. Then it moves. When it hits the wall, it moves.
Hold on.
Why is it not moving? Why is it not moving instantly?
It's just smoke drifting out. The ignition hasn't happened.
So if there was no, it has happened. That's why the smoke's coming out.
So things can smoke without igniting, right?
It's so slow.
Do you understand that things can smoke without? Do you understand that things can smoke without igniting? So what he's burning, and I think he's burning.
This is slowed right down.
I think he's burning flash paper.
Yeah.
Right. Flash paper is not a slow burn.
It should move.
Flash paper is not a slow burn. I just want to see the actual ignition point. So it is. I mean, it's moving a little bit, right?
It wouldn't move.
There's the ignition right there. Right there. You can see it happening.
Oh yeah.
The ignition is right there.
So the
you can
ignition
see
happens after it moves, yeah?
Well, it's moving a little bit, but the actual ignition.
But the ignition happens after it moves. Yeah?
I mean, like you said, there's a little bit of motion, but the actual large swing that happened because
only when
of the ignition.
Hit the wall. Watch it. If you watched it in real time, you would see that the ignition is just take so long?
We're watching it frame by frame, right? So the ignition hasn't happened yet, right? So it's just moving a tiny little bit. There's just a little bit of stuff leaking out, right? And then
it's hit the wall.
So why is it moving? Wait, hold on. Why is it moving at all before it's hit the wall?
It hasn't. It hasn't moved.
It is. We can see it moving.
Go back. No. You need to zoom out more. The smoke hit the wall.
What do you mean zoom out more?
So we can see the whole video.
Wait.
You're zoomed right in, so you can't see. The smoke's already hit the wall. You're too far ahead.
Zoomed out?
You're too far ahead.
Like, do you want me to make
like that? That's it.
Okay.
No, that's it. Yeah, like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Now we'll go back.
Here we go. Okay. So here we have. So we have a little.
There you go. Smoke hits the wall.
Hold on.
See?
There's a little bit too
there you
fast.
go. Smoke hits the wall, then it moves.
So
smoke hits the wall, then it moves.
Hold on.
Well, you can all see that.
Hold on. We're gonna play it slowly. I just want to get to the point right before. Okay. So here he hasn't played it yet, and I want to step through this little by little. Okay. So here the laser hasn't turned on yet. Not moving at all. Right.
Yep.
I am stepping forward. It's just slow. So we're stepping frame by frame. This should be working. Why isn't it stepping? Or maybe it is. Oh, it is stepping. It's just slow.
No, it doesn't hit the wall before it starts moving.
It hasn't even started. It hasn't even started burning.
No,
yet.
I was reading the comment.
Okay. Okay, so hold on. I need to go back a little bit because the laser's on. Okay, laser's about to turn on, right? Laser's on. So now we can start things. In principle, things could start heating up, right?
Right.
So let's skip forward a little bit, frame by frame. Laser is now on the thing. I guess it's going to take him a few frames to actually get it right. You can see it, like it is actually stepping forward, it's just slow. I think it's stepping forward. I see stuff changing a little bit. There we go. I just don't want to jump too far. Okay, so here we can see a little bit of smoke come out, right? And so this is just a thing burning slowly, right? It hasn't ignited. Right, things can give off smoke without burning.
Do you know how quick this happens in real time?
I know, that's why we're watching it slowly, right?
Right.
So what we're seeing here is the beginning of ignition. It hasn't ignited yet. You know when you heat something up right before it burns, it'll start smoking? That's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So we're seeing smoke just kind of leak out, but it's not an energetic reaction. So it's not going to do much. It's not a big expansion of a whole bunch of gas. It's just smoke essentially leaking out.
Okay.
And we can see that smoke leaking out.
If you want to believe it's just smoke leaking out?
I mean, clearly the ignition hasn't happened yet, right?
It's happened. This is very, very slowed down.
Yeah, I know. The ignition hasn't happened yet. Smoke is just leaking out.
I believe the ignition's literally just started to happen. It's like an explosion, like you said.
No, you can see the explosion happen on the inside when it happens. Yeah. We can skip to that part if you want.
Why don't you just keep skipping it back and keep watching it instead of doing it like lagging?
Well, I'm trying to do frame by frame, but YouTube's being annoying.
But it's too laggy.
I mean, you can see it moving frame by frame, right?
Oh, just keep replaying it and see what people think.
So you don't want to look at it frame by frame? You don't want to be like careful and do a like actual analysis?
It's probably easier to watch it just by watching it because it's slowed down anyway.
So see how it's bright there?
That's the laser.
That's the laser. Yeah. So we'll see it puff out in a minute.
It's puffed out already. It's already gone. That's why it's moving. You watch it again, you'll see it move.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is frame by frame. So what you're seeing, the reason why the laser gets suddenly so much brighter is because the ignition has started.
I mean, it's bright the whole time. But...
No, it's not. It's obviously less bright here. Obviously less bright.
Just go back and watch. Like, let it play. Let it play.
Oh, because you don't want to be careful. It's obviously more bright here.
No, it's easier to see it just by watching it.
It's easier to see it by not playing it frame by frame, I guess.
Yeah. So
it's easier to analyze it when you're not looking at it carefully.
You can admit that though.
No, it has nothing to do with the wall.
It's only moving. It doesn't have nothing to do with the wall.
It has nothing to do with the wall.
But why did it not move straight away?
Because it's just leaking out smoke.
Why does it only move when it? Why does it only move when it hits the wall?
It doesn't.
Well, watch it again. Watch it without.
We have
skipping through it. You'll see. No, watch
I'm
it
not
again.
skipping. I'm literally going frame by frame.
No, let it play because you can't see anything while it's doing this.
Okay, here we go.
Look, watch it, and you tell me it doesn't hit the wall, then move.
So to be clear, it's moving a little bit. So the gas is about here at this point. Gas is about here now.
Go on,
it's already moving.
Yeah, it's hit the wall.
No, it's not. It's here. The
I've
wall is
just seen
over
it hit the
here.
wall.
What do you mean you saw it hit the wall?
It. Just keep replaying it. Stop pausing it.
It's not pointed directly at the wall. You understand that? Actually, let's
but
put
it's
it in
still
slow-mo.
pushing off of it. Of course, it don't
It's
have
not.
to be.
It's not touching the wall yet.
It doesn't need to be pointed.
So if it's not touching the wall, how is it pushing off the wall?
It has touched the wall. You're not letting it. You're not playing.
It's literally playing. I just slowed it down. So have a little bit of patience. Okay, so the smoke is here at this point.
Yeah.
That's not touching the wall. We agree it's not touching the wall.
Go on.
It's here at this point. Still not touching the wall.
Which is right next to the wall. Look at the shadow.
It's literally not right next to the wall. What shadow?
Look at the shadow at the bottom.
That's not the shadow of the smoke.
All right, let it play then. Oh, well, it is, isn't it?
So here we have here we have
Now
the
it's touched
shadows
the
over
wall.
here.
Yeah. There you go. Now it moves. So you can admit it touches the corner and then it moves. So it doesn't move the whole time when it.
Hold on.
The smoke's not touching the wall.
So
But if there was a fast
to be
open
clear,
vacuum, there's no wall to push.
To be clear, it is
There's no wall to push off
moving
of.
at this point.
It wouldn't work.
It is
The rocket wouldn't
moving at
work
this
in the
point.
vacuum state. It's not.
It is. We can go through it frame by frame.
Yeah, because the shadow's at the corner. It only moves when it hits the wall.
So okay, so can you explain to me what is it about the smoke that suddenly kicks it like this?
Because you can see
Why does
that's
that
when the
happen?
thrust hit a physical object.
I thought
it
that
only thrust
I'm
only
sorry.
works
I
if it's
thought that
pushing off the
I
something.
thought that it hit the wall here.
So if there was no
Wait,
wall,
did
it wouldn't
so
move.
so I thought it had hit the wall by now. Had it hit the wall or no?
It wouldn't move. There was
Has
nothing
it
to push
has the
off of.
smoke hit the wall at this point?
I don't know where we are in the video.
Okay, but we can rewind a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're gonna pay attention to the smoke.
Okay.
The video's
playing?
it's playing in slow-mo.
Okay.
We can see a little bit of smoke. It's actually kind of hard to see. There's a little bit of smoke there. Okay, according to you, it has now hit the wall, right?
No, not just yet.
Yeah. I mean, we just watched this. What do you mean
Well,
not
just watch
just yet?
it when it just watch it when it starts moving, and I can.
No, we're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it when we're gonna.
watch it.
We're
Let's
gonna
just
no,
watch it
we're
without
just gonna
pausing it.
believe what you said. Okay, we're going to trust what you said.
Okay.
We are going to look at the exact
Remember,
moment
this
you
is
want
very,
to tell
very
me.
slow.
It
Remember,
is.
this
Yes,
is
I know. I know it's
extremely
very, very slow.
So it's not going
I'm
to
aware.
instantly move as soon as it touches
Oh,
the
what's
wall.
not instantly moving?
It doesn't. You know it's not going to instantly move as
Why
soon as
not?
it touches the wall.
Why not? That's when the thrust
Because
happens,
it's
right?
so slow. Because the video is so slow.
But that's when the thrust happens, doesn't it? Okay, so we have some smoke coming out.
You think it should move as soon as the smoke comes
so
out?
the smoke is there, right?
Yep.
And
Which
then
you-
now the
which it
smoke
should
now the
move.
smoke's
It
there.
should
According,
move.
according to you, the smoke is there.
should-
It has hit the wall,
It
right?
should move by now.
According
It
to
should
you,
have moved by now,
hold on.
surely.
According to you,
According
this,
to you, this should have been moving by now.
Thorns, according to you, this should it should move now, right? Because it's hit the
Let it
back
play
end
then.
of the. Okay.
Let it play then.
Yep. Now it's
Then
moving.
it's
Why
moving.
does it take so many frames?
Right.
Why does it take so long?
Because you've got the video slowed down anyway, and
I know
the video's so slow anyway.
Well, the video's not
But
in
you
slow mo.
think it should move.
The video's not
You
in
should
slow mo.
move-
Like the original video's not in slow mo. I'm just slowing it down by a factor of 4. So the point is that
is
it
in
actually
slow-mo.
doesn't move until
The original video is in slow mo.
It's literally not.
It is. It's sped up at the end.
What?
This is slowed down. It's
Wait,
a
what
slowed
do you
down
mean
test.
it's slowed down?
That's where they speed it up. See?
That's real time.
Yeah, because they've replayed. They put it back up to speed.
What?
There.
Where is it in slow mo? There's no
See
slow
how
mo
it,
there.
all right. But see how. Oh, I thought it was in slow mo.
Okay.
I thought
So
you
the
had it
point
slowed.
is that according to your model, there is some delay between the smoke hitting the corner and the thing actually moving.
It
So what
takes
accounts for that
forever
delay?
For your,
What accounts
for your
for that
model,
delay?
It should move. But for your model, it should move instantaneously as soon as the thrust is
No,
stripped out
in
of
my
that.
model, the amount of motion depends on how big the thrust is, and the thrust.
That's true, Toby. That's what I do in my spare time.
And the thrust is not large. The thrust is not strong until the combustion actually happens, right? Right.
Okay.
When we see smoke just drifting out, that's not that's like the full
I'll let you
combustion
think
of
about it.
the.
I've got to go gym anyway.
The burn paper, whatever it's called, right? It's just
It
not.
was nice. It was
not-
nice having this debate.
Oh,
but
he's
I've got
running.
to go. I'm going gym.
Okay, go to the
I'll
gym.
come back. We'll have another
Go to
debate.
the gym, and while you're at the gym, think about how thrust. Think about the grenade, okay, and explain to me why that won't work in a vacuum. Okay.
I'll be thinking about that grenade, mate.
Think about the grenade.
All right, take care.
Take care.
Take care, mate. Bye-bye.
Yeah, so flat earthers love this because they think that the thrust is so they love this video, by the way. I've seen this video before. They think that the thrust is related to the smoke that trickles out, right? But if you've ever seen a rocket launch or a rocket, yeah, we can go look up a rocket launch if you want. We can see. Hold on, I want to skip forward to the actual launch part because somebody must have recorded this. Let me just show you guys what I'm talking about. So here we have a rocket launch. And you're going to see some smoke leak out at the beginning, right? It's not that, that's cooling stuff. There's the smoke, but that's not the full ignition yet. That's the full ignition, and that's when it starts moving. This is the same thing that's happening in the Action Lab video. In the Action Lab video, you see a little bit of smoke leaking out because the fire or the flash paper starts to heat up, and it, it's the word is the initial pyrolysis of the material, and then it flashes and it just pushes back really fast. That's what we're seeing happening, right? But flat earthers love that because they don't understand the distinction between smoke and ignition. Anyway, we have some super chats to read, and then we'll bring up our next guest. Oh, I should jot down the end of that one because that one's going on YouTube. Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, he really struggled with the grenade example, huh? From Binary Ghosts with the $5. Nazis believed in a hollow Earth, not a flat Earth. So what do Nazis have to do with flat Earth debates? What did I miss? Oh, there was a guy who was on who was a Nazi and a flat earther. From Elliptic 6 with the $2. I'm not a FLERF, but I'm in your Discord, but I need help. What do you need help with? From Chase Martin Physics with the $5. Show me a real picture of the flat Earth. There is no real picture of the flat Earth. Frickin' got him. Of course there's no real picture of the flat Earth. The Earth isn't flat. From Riley Leafson with the $2. Yeah, Blitz, use the real picture of flat. Yeah, we do our best, okay? From Binary Ghosts again with the $5. The cool thing about the internet is finding out the British also believe in the flat Earth and also very bad at debate. Like, very bad. Yeah, it's rough, isn't it? From Joshua Brown with the $5. I have tested gravity, and in the experiment, gravity was 9.799 in Frank Phillips College physics classroom in Borger, Texas. Yeah, that sounds right. From Time with the $2. Thorns didn't pay any attention in secondary school. That's what they call it over there. Absolutely. Oh, you sent me a video of that version slowed down to various speeds. Oh, that's convenient. I want the extra slow one. Sorry, I'm just taking a look. Yeah, that is like. Yeah, let me just show you guys what I'm seeing. Thank you, Jim. And maybe I can step through this one just so then we can see it a little bit better. So what I want you to pay attention to is how bright the light is inside the syringe, right? So we have our laser. And so allegedly the smoke is already way out there. But see how the brightness of the laser, let me make this bigger so then you guys can see what I'm talking about. Look how much brighter it gets in there. Right? That's when the combustion is happening. Right? We have just the laser just doing its thing. And then it gets super bright. This is super slowed down. It gets super bright and then it starts moving. Right? So it's pretty clear what's causing the motion is the ignition, the combustion actually happening, right? Thank you, Jim, as always. From Jesse W with the "you can't fix stupid." No, but we can try. From Clem68W with the $5. They know about the Cavendish experiment and have poisoned the well. Foucault's pendulum is an equally good experiment, and it's still running to this day. Indeed, it is. Indeed, it is. From Literally Lou with the $10. Appreciate you as always. Well, I appreciate you. From Ken with the $20. I guess you could say he recoiled in this argument. He did. Also, I was like, it was very, very weird that he couldn't even like explain how recoil works. But again, he is a, you know, British. So, you know, maybe they don't understand guns like we do. From Christopher Walker with the $10. You're making money off this, right? Notwithstanding my super chat, but you can actually enjoy trying to explain Newton's laws to people who will never get it. I do have a perhaps a masochistic streak, I suppose. From Nathan Irvine with the $5. Oh my god, you're teaching 8th grade science to Dunning-Kruger. We do our best, okay? From Morton sending 5 Dr. Blitz Debunks gift memberships. So actually, this is a good time to shill for myself. It turns out, in case you didn't know, there is a document. It's a lovely document, in fact. It looks like this. It's a lovely document that I've spent time writing up and adding stuff to. These are my debate notes, my personal debate notes. And there's a whole bunch of different topics. We can talk about theism, young earth, MAGA stuff. Flat earth is probably the most complete because I spend a lot of time on it. But there's just pages upon pages of documents and calculations and sources and arguments and counter arguments and all sorts of stuff. So if you want access to that, like the 5 people who just got access because of Martin, it's like $4 or $5 a month. To become a member on YouTube, and one of the perks of being a member is that you get access to the debate notes. So if you want to support me, that's a good way to do it. You can also become a patron on Patreon, and you will also get access as well. From Binary Ghosts with the $5, at least American flat earthers would know how guns work. Brits, you need to step up your education. True, they absolutely do. From Joshua with the $5, imagine trying to explain the rocket equation. Oh, he couldn't even do the simple grenade experiment. Chase, you say just say $5, you know how much your membership costs? Oh no, I say $4 or $5 on purpose because the membership costs a different amount between the 2 YouTube channels. I think on the Dr. Blitz Debunks YouTube channel, it's $5, and on the main channel, it's $4. And the only reason it's not $5 on the main channel is because I didn't realize it was set to $4 before I already had a member, and once you have a member, you can't change the price. So if you want the cheaper version, go become a member on the main channel. It's @BlitzPhD on YouTube. It's only $4 there, and you get all access to all of the same perks. The downside is that the perks that you get access to are for, like, the emojis that you get are only for the vertical stream, not the horizontal stream. So, you know, that is the downside. From Von Doodle with the £5. Hey, Dr. Blitz, the Project Orion spaceship would have thrown nuke grenades out the back for propulsion. Big W for grenades. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? And from Chase Martin with the $5, that's the fucking rocket video he was going on about like it was the Infinity Stones of Flat Earth. My disappointment is immeasurable. Yeah, so he was talking about the Action Lab thing, which isn't a rocket, by the way. It's a syringe with flash paper in it. From Matt with the $5, you need to ask guests to explain how rockets pushing off a vacuum off of a medium works. They wouldn't be able to explain the forces. No, but they don't understand forces to begin with. From Riley Leifson with the $2, color is definitely on the Mount Rushmore of stupid. We call that Mount Dunning-Kruger. From Christopher Sanford with the £5, the FLERFS told you to reject the evidence of your eyes and your ears. It was only their most essential command. George Orwell, probably. Yeah. The main channel is just @BlitzPhD on YouTube. The horizontal channel is more for like debunking stuff. The main channel, I post science content on in shorts there. So like it just depends on what you want to support. From It's Char Not Char with the $5. Dr. Blitz, did you develop the patience for these colors because the line of questioning is less rigorous than defending your thesis to acquire a PhD? No, it's from teaching undergrad engineering students. that's where the patience comes from. From Forgiven with the $2, make him explain objects falling in a vacuum chamber. Oh, he won't know. But, you know, you can only touch on so many topics at a time, right? From Pizza with the $5, the way he described the gas hitting the wall, like if you threw a basketball and you're still until it hits the wall, then you fly across the room. Yeah, that's what they think. I don't know what he thinks. I don't know what they think is going on there, but from Nathan Irvine with the $5, dude, you actually think the fuel dribbling out and hitting the wall made it move that rapidly? Yeah, I think that's what he thinks. And from Cyber Deconstruction with the $20, much appreciated, bud. Love how you were using the grenade example to show the shrapnel was essentially hitting a wall to provide movement in a vacuum. He denied that, then claimed later, oh, that's a good point. I should definitely, absolutely bring that up again next time, because that is a good point. I'm talking about the shrapnel hitting a wall. I'm talking about the gas hitting a wall. That's what's causing it's the gas physically hitting the wall causes the wall to move, right? That's what's happening here. Not the gas hitting the wall causes some other thing to move. And from Brian Peck with the $5, his argument would indicate jumping from a moving vehicle wouldn't cause it to rock. Yeah, his argument would do that. And from Riley Leifson with the $2, your documents have way too many wordy things. They do. But, you know, it can be a useful resource. All right. Thank you guys so much for that. Let me double check some things, and then we'll move on to our next guest. And we do have some guests that are waiting on Discord, so we'll bring up one from there. All right, let's bring up a guest from Discord. Let's bring up, I don't know who's been waiting longest, but let's bring up Bionic Buzzard. Bionic Buzzard, how's it going?
Hello, sir. How are you doing today?
Oh, I can't hear you, but that's on my end. One sec. There you go. Go ahead.
I am so sorry. I'm not a flat earther, but my father is. He is completely inept at technology, and all my questions are coming from him via a email that we're going back and forth, and I need help to completely demolish his worldview.
Sure, but it'll have to be quick because I do want to bring up another guest for debate afterwards.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. He believes that the Bible is the truth, and the Bible states it's flat, and I've showed him so many scriptures that are just wrong, and I need to give him a scientific talking point that he can't refute with the Bible.
Look, here's the thing. If he thinks that the Bible is 100% correct and it's infallible, nothing you can show him, no science that you can show him that contradicts the Bible will help him, right?
That's what I was afraid of.
I mean, but what you can do is you don't have to show him like some scientific talking point. You can just show him stuff in the real world. Like, for example, go out. Do you live in a cloudy place?
Minnesota.
Okay, so that's pretty cloudy. So go out at sunset. Next time the sun is setting, take a look at the clouds and point out to your father that the bottom of the clouds are like reddish and the top of the clouds are gray. That's something that you can see with your own eyes, and ask him to explain how that works.
That is a very good point. I've brought that up, and his point is always the sun is far away.
But how would well, okay, that's a conversation to have with him. But what you need to ask him basically is, if the sun was ever higher than the clouds, could that make the bottom of the clouds brighter than the top of the clouds? Regardless of how far away it is, could the bottom of the clouds ever be brighter than the top? That's the question to ask him. And then you could draw a diagram and work it out with him. But like, if he's already bought and sold into the Bible, like, you're gonna have a hard time getting him off the flat earth. What you could do is you could send him to a guy who I don't like, but he is he's a young earth creationist. His name is VOR on TikTok. I don't know if he still does stuff. I blocked him a long time ago because he's kind of a jerk. But he's a young earth creationist who doesn't think that the earth is flat. He actually like argues against flat earthers quite frequently. So you could point out that you could like send your dad over to watch some of his stuff, or even to call in, because he's somebody who's a biblical literalist, this VOR guy. He believes everything the Bible is true and literal, and he thinks that the earth is a sphere. So you could have your dad talk to him. He's on his side. The dude's a Christian. He's a biblical literist. He's 100% sold into all of this. That might help him.
Awesome. That's a great talking point. And just a side question before I jump off.
Sure.
When will you and Justin be side by side again, so I can also point him to that?
I go live with Justin every Sunday.
Oh, awesome. I will make sure to notate that and get him that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's around the
Dr.
same
Blitz.
time.
I appreciate it.
Of course. Good luck. All right, let's bring up another guest from Discord. Let's talk to I am a pirate. How's it going? Hi. All right, looks like I's not connecting. Let's bring up Noble Hair. Noble Hair, how's it going? Noble Hair, you there? Okay. Sorry, one sec, y'all. All right. Probably close out of these. Let's bring up another guest then. I guess all of the guests from Discord, they ducked out. Okay. We have one more super chat. Sorry, from Nathan Irvine again. Very, very generous of you. The Bible says not to eat pork because pigs had cloven hooves and don't chew cud. True. Yeah. Don't do that either. All right. Let's talk to Tim T. Actually, let's talk to Tim briefly. Tim, how's it going?
Ooh, hey, what's going on, guys? Hey.
Tim, what shape do you think the Earth is?
I think it's a globe, but I just wanted to critique something real quick with the video, the Mythbusters video. And I've been saying
it's not the place. Let's talk to Science Relay.
Hi, Blitz.
Science Relay, how's it going?
It's good. I just wanted to.
Oh, sorry, one sec. Audio's super loud. All right, you were saying?
I just wanted to relay another resource for you. It's YouTube channel at Warped YT.
I'm familiar. I use the videos from Warped quite frequently.
Okay. Yeah, there's that one with the extra long vacuum chamber.
Mm-hmm. I actually pulled up that video earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we watched that one.
Carry on.
All right, get out of here.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry. Unfortunately, on TikTok, I don't know how to solve this, but on TikTok, the audio is usually pretty good, but on Discord, the audio is usually very, very quiet. So I have to turn them up on TikTok, and then if I forget to turn them back down after the Discord person leaves, it's really, really loud on TikTok. So that's my bad. We have HVAC rules. HVAC rules. HVAC rules. How's it going? HVAC? You there? HVAC. HVAC. Yeah, what? Sorry. There you. I can hear myself, so I know that you're here. Oh, he doesn't know that he's on. He doesn't know he's here.
I've just worked out that I'm here.
All right. I'm glad that you're here.
Hello.
You should turn off the other stuff now that you can talk to me, okay?
Okie dokie. Here we go.
All right.
Here we go.
Great.
Right.
HVAC. How's it going?
Hello. It's going absolutely super smashing peaches and cream.
I'm glad to hear it. HVAC, what shape do you think the Earth is?
I have observed it to be flat.
You've observed it to be flat. How'd that go? You got any pictures?
Yes, I do. Although I'm old enough to be your father, and I'm somewhat tarded, as us silver.
Oh, don't say that.
No.
How old are you, HVAC?
I'm 51 years.
Well, you would be a young father if indeed you were my father.
Young.
Look, so what I would ask for is a picture of the whole Earth, or at least like half of the Earth. Of the flat Earth, if you can.
Sorry, I beg your pardon. I was.
Yeah. So you said that you've seen it, and I was asking for a picture. So what I would like is a picture of half the Earth, at least. You know, it might be hard to get the whole Earth in the picture, but I'd like at least half the Earth.
How would I be able to get a picture of half of the Earth?
Well, you said that you've seen the flat Earth, so I imagine that that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, I live on. So this is assume that from your paradigm that you're coming from of uniformitarianism, that is the absolute truth.
No, this has nothing to do with
Scientism is
uniformitarianism.
the truth. Okay. So, all right then. So living in a place where I get to look down from a glacial escarpment down upon the area, probably about 30 miles across.
All right, I'm sorry. The connection's too bad, or your voice changer's glitching. Like I can't. Let's bring on I. I, how's it going?
Hello.
I, how are you?
Hi. No, I just had the YouTube playing in the back.
You're good. You're good. Yeah, I can hear you just fine. So I, what shape do you think the Earth is?
A sphere, but I'm gonna make this quick, but I wanted to talk about something else, and it's real quick.
Okay, but that's not the topic today, so that means that I gotta let you go. Them's the rules.
Okay, but can I ask you just one question?
Sure.
And it's like a very quick one.
Sure.
Do you know how far that the Earth's atmosphere extends beyond Earth, like where it goes through?
Yeah, it just depends on where the cutoff is. Generally, we say that space is about 60 miles up.
No, but I'm saying like where they say like the magnetic fields of Earth, like
The magnetic
how far
field
they...
is not the atmosphere. But that was your one question, I, so I gotta let you go.
No,
You did say, can I ask you one question? And then you asked one question. He wanted to talk about the exosphere. There's this meme going around, which is like, it's really like not helping anybody. This guy made a video like a few weeks ago that went super viral, where he's like, you know, the firmament's real, but it's not what you think. It's the exosphere, because the exosphere goes beyond the moon. But like, that's not a firmament, right? The exosphere is just like the traces of gas from Earth that are no longer in orbit and are on their way out, right? And like they're like, oh, but that's the firmament. So, but a firmament is supposed to separate the waters from the waters. And he's like, oh, but there's water in space. And it's like, okay, but it's obviously not. Space obviously isn't water. So it's just an annoying thing, and I think it's actually like hurting people. Like it's hurting the way that people think. Anyway, we have a $5 super chat from Binary Ghosts. The Earth is two-sided and spins around like a coin on its edge. This gives the appearance of it being round because it spins so fast. True! It does spin at 1,000 miles an hour. That's really fast. It must be spinning really, really fast. One sec. All right, well, the guest box is currently empty. There is Gerald, but I think Gerald was the troll. Should we let him back on just to see if he was accidentally trolling? Gerald. He was doing it again. He got me. He got me again. All right. Well, it is 11:38. Guest box is currently empty. I am. No, we've spoken with VVV5 before. In fact, I think we spoke with him last week. Didn't we? Yeah, we spoke with him last week. 4 days ago, in fact. But you're not a flat earther, are you? You're a flat earther? It didn't do.
I am not a flat earther in the strict sense.
Well,
it's just the thing says flat Earth is dead. So
yeah. So
I was looking at.
So this is just bait for flat earthers, not meant for people to come be tone police. So I gotta let you go. Yeah, I mean, like if you want to come on and be like, the Earth is a sphere, but actually there are still people who believe that the Earth is flat. Therefore, the flat Earth movement cannot be dead because there are still living members of the. Like, I don't care. I don't care. This is obviously bait for flat earthers to come up and defend their worldview. So, all right, let's talk to Dono. Dono, how's it going?
Hello. Good. The Earth is a donut.
Okay. Well, at least it's not flat. Apparently, I'm funny when I get annoyed. I'm not really annoyed at him. It's just that it happens a lot. All right, so anyway, it seems like, let me go see if anybody else is live right now. Oh, we have a, sorry, I shouldn't make fun of Mr. Earthguy is great. So who is live that I can send people over to right now? Ah, okay. Yeah, I think we'll send people over to Dalton. So everybody, we are going to, well, before I end the live, I'm just going to shield for myself. So I am live on TikTok, on 2 separate YouTube channels, and on Twitch, right? So if you prefer Twitch, you can go watch in horizontal mode on Twitch. You can support me there. If you prefer YouTube on like a big TV, there's a horizontal mode. To go find me there, go to Dr. Blitz Debunks on YouTube. It's Blitz PhD on Twitch. If you want to watch on your phone and like YouTube Shorts, Blitz PhD is the account to follow, to subscribe to. If you want to watch on TikTok, it's there too. So all of those, there's a whole bunch of different ways if you prefer different platforms, don't prefer different platforms, whole bunch of different ways to follow me and support. However, currently, and we're working on this on Twitch, it's impossible to do on TikTok, but currently the only way to get access to the debate notes is if you become a member on either of the YouTube channels or on Patreon. And if you want to see where all of this information can be found and more, you should go check out my website. My website, I'm very, very proud of it, and I want more people to go to it because it's a cool website. It's this. So this isn't just about my streaming stuff. It's not just about my videos and science communication either. It's my professional website. So if you want to read about me, hey, look, that's me. That was shortly after I graduated. Or if you want to go take a look at my research, there's a tab for that too. And all of these are open access. You can read any of them. Or if you want to take a look at the science content that I make, there's some links here. You can go check out the debate channels. I actually need to put a link to Twitch on here now that I'm live on Twitch. But importantly, if you want to figure out a way to support me, there are a few links down here. Of course, you can also go through YouTube or go through TikTok or Twitch or whatever. But there's also independent ways that don't pass through a big company, and that definitely helps if that's something you're interested in. So check out the website. I'm pretty, I mean, I didn't code it, Claude did, but it's still a cool website. So, I should tell you how to get there. The website is just blitz.phd. It's super easy to get, right? Just blitz.phd, no .com, although if you go to blitzphd.com, it'll also redirect here. But yeah, just go to blitz.phd, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for some Ask a Physicist. We have Binary Ghosts, well, not Super Chat. From Binary Ghosts, here's a little cash for your hosting site fees. Love seeing people having their own websites. It's such a rarity these days. Yeah, it's like that. The .phd top level domain is not cheap, but it's so cool. It's so cool. It's not a WordPress site now. And from Nathan Irvine with the $5, when someone asks why they don't feel the earth moving, ask them how they drink from a cup in an airplane. Yep, that's the plan. And last but not least, from Elliptic 6, thank you for your help, Dr. Blitz. I stay rock.